Credit Union, the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
1819 News.
A state lawmaker is expressing confidence that Democrats here in Alabama attempting to reshape the constitutional carry law in Alabama is not going to go anywhere. Democrat state lawmakers have already pre-filed bills that would add more regulations to the constitutional carry law that was put in place in 2022. Now, State Senator Chris Elliott was asked about those pre-filed bills by 1819 News editor-in-chief Jeff Poore while on FM Talk 106.5 out of Mobile.
I mean, it's patently absurd. I mean, their problems are so much bigger than whether or not a law-abiding citizen has a handgun or not. And the conversation about permitless carry making it easier to have an illegal weapon or it's just nonsensical. It makes absolutely no sense. We're not changing it. It is what it is. The criminals don't follow laws. I mean, that's about as basic as it gets, and for them to think they're going to pass a law that's going to, make a criminal go get a permit to carry an illegal weapon is ridiculous.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
On November 15th, you can have dinner with Eric Metaxas right here in Alabama. Metaxas, the author of Bonhoeffer and Letter to the American Church, will keynote 1819 News' first annual Albert Patterson Gala on November 15th at the Barber Motorsports Event Center in Birmingham. To learn more and sponsor a table, visit 1819news.com/gala. Again, that's Eric Metaxas on November 15th. Go to 1819news.com/gala to learn more.
Small businesses in the 5 Points South area of Birmingham are telling WBRC News that they're relieved now that one person has been arrested connected to the mass shooting that occurred this past September. Many of those shops have been closed down to online orders only since September 21st. That's when dozens of people were injured in the shooting and 4 people killed. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
You want free speech? Let's see you acknowledge a man whose words make your blood boil, who's standing center stage and advocating at the top of his lungs that which you would spend a lifetime opposing at the top of yours.
I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Welcome into the program. We're going to get to that man before too long because he worked a shift at McDonald's and for some reason everybody's freaking out about it. It was actually pretty great photo op, but we'll get to that. Well, we've got some local business to attend to. First, Eddie Bader, how you doing today?
Good. Good to see you, Joey.
Good to see you. Yeah, good to see you. You're all Americaned out.
Yeah, it was chilly this morning,
Yeah.
but kind of warmed up since then.
Well,
Good old Alabama weather.
Don't sweat too much in the studio. You know the
it's
rules.
going to happen.
You know the rules.
I know.
And well, we do have local business to attend to because we have a superintendent in the room, superintendent of Watauga County Schools. This is Lyman Woodfin here joining us. Lyman, how are you today, sir?
Good afternoon, guys. Appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Now, of course, I don't live in Watauga County. I'm here in Montgomery. But I'll give kind of where I'm coming from. I was opposed to a millage increase here in Montgomery County, but I then talked to then Superintendent Roy Moore and, want to hear out the reasons for a, say, millage increase in helping schools. So that is the big agenda item here, that y'all are looking for a millage increase.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, and I get it completely. Anytime you're asking people, hey, pay more tax, that's never a popular request from the public. And we all know the state of our economy we're in right now. Look, I'm married with 5 kids. I go to the same grocery store as everybody else does. We know times are tough. The reality, though, is when I've analyzed our finances at the central office and everywhere else in our district, property tax increase is about the only place we can look at in terms of getting more revenue. And, what we're putting out there is just, hey, here's what we would like to do if it passes. Here are the possible, and that's where there's some misconceptions there. I'm not saying we're cutting everything that's on the quote-unquote no side, but every school district in Alabama is looking at the same reality, which is COVID money is running out. We're all trying to make ends meet. And when you're one of the least funded systems like we are, 128 out of 138 systems, I'm not doing my job if I'm not trying to put together a 3 to 5 year plan to start meeting some of these needs. And, the message that I hope people are seeing is this: we're going to be transparent. We're going to take the questions. We're going to take the heat. We're going to put the information out there. But the board and I are unified on this. We're putting it out there. If it does not pass, then we will try not to make any cuts, but we're definitely putting it out there on what might happen. And, just not running from that conversation.
And before we keep diving into the issue, how long have you been superintendent, Lyman? How long have you been doing this?
I started mid-July of last year. So that's about, 15, 16 months, somewhere around there. It's been a whirlwind. It's been a great experience. I know I'm biased, but I feel like Watauga County's got the best of the best, and I've been there all my life, and I've really enjoyed it.
Well, and so all your life in Watauga County,
Yes,
in the school system?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the only place I've ever worked. I have no plans of
so
going
what
anywhere else.
What all have you done there?
Yeah, started as a volunteer coach when I was working at Pepsi.
That's how they get you.
Hey, enjoyed it, man. Loved it. Kyle Glover, one of our board members, let me come on straight out of college. Realized real quick I really enjoyed it, and started as a teacher, worked up through the ranks, and taught and coached for a long time, then went into administration. So,
well, I like that you're homegrown, that this is
That's
right. Not just a job, this is home to you.
Yes, sir.
And I think it adds some more gravitas to what you're saying. So why the need for more revenue? What is the issue underlying?
Yeah. All right. So a lot of it is, and honestly, before I got into this role, I don't know if I fully understood how schools are funded. But you basically have 3 pots of money that comes in. You got your state dollars, the federal dollars, and your local dollars. State and federal are pretty much earmarked. It would be nice if education operated like every other business in the world, where, hey, here's your money, but you can spend it however you need to see. That's not the world we live in. If we get I've been using this example, if we get, say, $100,000 to spend on homeless students, well, that's a great program. Well, if I can meet the needs and only spend $50,000, in every other world, you would take the other $50,000, you move it somewhere else. not in education. You have to spend every dollar the way it's earmarked from the federal government, state government. So the local dollars is where Autauga County struggles, and that's where other systems that quite frankly are making it happen, they have more local dollars, and the ad valorem increase would go into our local dollars that give us more flexibility and help us better meet the needs of our people.
So is this the upkeep a lot of what's already going on in the schools, or is there hopes of adding to additions to the schools? Like it sounded like without this there might be cuts, as you said earlier.
Yes, sir. Yeah, look, what I'm projecting, and my CSFO and myself will be the first to admit we're very fiscally conservative, okay? But I also remember the days of what Autauga County was like before COVID. And I don't mean this ugly, and you know, I've said this numerous times, and there's been a couple of gasps when I say it. COVID was awful. We all know that. A lot of us lost family members to it, you know, but financially, for government entities, it was a blessing in terms of the financial dollars that you received.
Oh yeah.
Well, in Autauga County before COVID, I remember what that was like because, again, like you said, I've been here, and I can remember having to rationing out toilet paper. I remember I had to coach one sport and coach another one for free. Like, these things occurred, and that's what I'm trying to get people to understand is the budget may have increased with with additional revenue, but so did all the cost. Look at all the things I'm sure y'all going to talk about later when I leave. The economy. What used to cost $10 now costs $20.
Yeah,
well,
very true.
That's across the board for everything that we're doing. Now, what I would like to see, if this is approved, is we are focusing on our people. We're focusing on our teachers and our staff members to try to give them what they need to do the job. You don't see, quote unquote, buildings being built on this proposal because I believe you got to invest in your people first. Now, could it be possible with some additional revenue at the end? It's possible.
Right.
I'm just trying to shore up our personnel side, trying to shore up our teachers and our administrators and give everybody a fighting chance. Because right now, historically, Autauga County, we're losing a lot of good people because they're going to Pike Road or they're going to Auburn or they're going to North Alabama. And we traditionally just didn't lose our people. Well, if I'm a teacher and I have, say, 5 preps in Autauga County, but I can go across the line and teach a class and make more money and only have 1 or 2 preps, that's the dilemma that we're in. I've got to solve that issue. So that's it in a nutshell. We're focusing on people. Yes, we may get to some facility stuff. It's not part of the plan because I don't know how to project that out and be concrete. I can be concrete on what we're asking the public to look at.
And we're talking about $7 million here.
Yeah,
so how much the tax would generate?
Right. Each mill for Autauga County is roughly about $1 million. So if the people voted in, we'll go from 10 to 17 mills, and that'll give us about $7 million extra in revenue that we can start to line out them, budget things out, and start to try to make some gains.
Now, I'd imagine you've run into folks who either don't have kids in the public school system or don't have kids, but I mean, they have to vote on this too.
Absolutely.
What is the case that you make to them?
Well, I hear it. Obviously in Autauga County, we have a couple private schools as well and charter schools. And hey, my kid don't go to Autauga County schools. Why should I vote for it? Look, I get it. I hear you wholeheartedly. My challenge has been this. Find me any public entity, any county where public education is not strong, and I'll show you a community that is struggling. And I don't mean that toward anyone, anywhere. It is facts. You can look at anybody across the state of Alabama. If that area is growing, if that area is, quote unquote, where I want to be, you're going to see a very strong public sector of education. Now, on the flip side of that as well, hey, well, I don't have kids. Why do I want to vote on this? Well, you have property you want to pass down to your kids. Property should cost more in areas where, quite frankly, the education system's doing well. If you have cheap land, I'm going to say you probably don't have a great public education system. Again, look across the county, look across the state. So it is an investment. I also understand, I got somebody said this to me the other day. Said, well, why are you trying now? It's not a good time to try it. Guys, it's not trying anything. This is us getting a direction from our citizens. This is the route we want to go. And I'm committed to carrying out that route because whether it's a yes or a no, guys, I promise you, I interviewed on this. It's not okay to be okay. and we're not just going to keep kicking a can down the street. We're going to make hard decisions one way or the other.
So is this going to be, people could vote on this in November?
Yes, sir. It's on on presidential ballot. Yes, sir. November 5th.
So quick turnaround here. I mean, I'd imagine, what has been the response since putting this out, since the board, let's say, voted on it?
I would say it's probably 50-50. You know, people are, I think, regardless of where they stand, the thing that I've been told overwhelmingly is, hey, we appreciate the transparency. And, you know, again, I'm a firm believer in that. It's not lip service. You can tune in any board member, or excuse me, any board meeting. When I get to the consent agenda, you will hear dollar amount, where it's coming from. I just firmly believe that we have to be transparent with the public. So I think it's going to be close. Now, which way it goes, I don't know. But again, I just don't want to have to make cuts and say 26, 27, and people go, well, if I'd have known, I would have voted this way. I'm committed.
You put it out there, right?
Yes, sir.
You kind of said this is what we got to work with.
And of course, you hear, well, these are just scare tactics. No, it's not, because
you laid it out.
These are the same discussions we had as a county prior to COVID.
Right.
And that's the part.
Like you said, it's kind of back to where we were pre-COVID.
And that's what I was, again, going back to before COVID, because they turned on the printing press in Washington, D.C. So there were already, say, issues of potential cuts or cutbacks. There, as you said, people were needing to work for free.
Yes, sir.
In order to make certain things happen.
Yes. Again, that's why I just keep telling people, and I think that's where it's beneficial having somebody that's been in the county, you know, the entire time. What we are discussing was on the table before COVID. That's fact. If you've been in Ottawa County, you know this. You know, our biggest hindrance to success in these types of areas is we traditionally have strong schools. We do. And that is one thing that comes up. People go, well, you know, the schools are doing well. Why do y'all need more money? Because I'm in the schools every day, and my teachers are in the schools every day, and our staff members there. And what you can't see unless you're there every day is my staff's overworked. We're asking too many people to do too many things with no way of rewarding them or compensating them. And again, it's just a matter of time before people go, you know what? It's 30 more minutes to drive to Auburn from Montgomery. You know, why don't I just go work at Auburn? I'll make that commute every day. And, you know, kudos to those other systems that are making it happen. Pike Road's done a great job. I mean, I'm not here to bash anybody. They've done a great job, and we've lost teachers. Elmore County's done a great job under Richard Dennis. You know, yes, they're our competition. We all help each other, but I can't deny the fact that they're doing some things over there that we are not able to do right now.
Budgetary?
Budgetary, because, again, look at Elmore County's local funding compared to ours. There's more local dollars there. That's it. There's more local amount. There's more dollars there to do more with. So, yes, they can do stipends and other things that, quite frankly, we can't. And, again, kudos to those guys. Whether we like it or not, especially with the Choose Act, and hey, we can go in that if you want to. You'll probably get unfiltered opinion on that one. But whether I like it or not, it's here. And if I don't figure out how to give our people what they need to compete, I'm very scared of what we look like in 3 to 4 years in Ottawa County.
And with the public schools funding, it's about 9,000 students y'all have.
Yes, sir. I think we're 8,700 right now.
And the funding, state funding, is tied to the student population.
Yes, sir. Well, it's tied, but it's a year behind. So
that's what I thought. It's always 1 year behind.
There's discussion. I think they're looking at changing the model. I really hope they do. Oh man, it's tough. What people don't understand is, all right, so the attendance you're taking right now, we just turned in our 20-day count. Those numbers have absolutely nothing to do with this year. That sets your staff at your schools for the following year. All right. So if you lose students, well, we're going to have to make cuts at the end of the year with teachers that we normally wouldn't cut because we're using the data from this year. That's where on the sheet that y'all probably seen where I've talked about local units. That's why that's such a big deal, because systems that are not completely relying on state dollars like Ottawa is, they go, okay, hey, we're going to lose 10 units from the state. No big deal. We're going to set aside $1 million because each local unit's about $100,000. And I'm not going to tell my principals they have to cut these teachers at the end of the year. We're going to give you 3 or 4 local units, and you just roll on. That's what's killing us.
What does the buy-in say from community leaders in the area, whether you're talking city folks or county leaders?
I got to give our people a huge shout out, because when this started coming up, I was told 2 things. You'll never get it through the legislature, and you'll never get all government entities on board. My state and local guys, Mr. Lawrence and Starnes and Mr. Smith and Senator Chambliss. Man, we met a lot. Those guys have been phenomenal to work with. I got to give them 100 shout outs because it really was great to work with them and come to a common, hey, what's your need? Here's how we can solve it. Now, City of Prattville passed a resolution the other night at the city council. Our local chamber of commerce has passed a resolution. The mayor Pine Level's behind it. Like, I believe we've done about everything we can do. Ultimately, now it's in the hands of the people. And, that's what's great about this country, right? It's not going to be Lyman Woodfin that decides what we do. The citizens of Autauga County will have the right to vote. And again, it's just my job to carry out what we have to do one way or the other.
Well, and again, folks, this will be on the November 5th ballot.
Yes.
Obviously, just for Autauga County residents. And, given I don't live in Autauga County, I don't feel like it's my prerogative to insert my opinion.
Right.
I know we have a lot of listeners there.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure, your voice and your message was getting out there. I don't know. I think you make a good case because it sounds like the millage. Millage was increased here in Montgomery not too long ago. It seems like every system in the area is doing this.
Yes. Well, the blowback's been, well, you can't throw money at problems and expect them to get fixed. No, I challenge that and I say, but I can throw it at my people who are the best around to try to keep my people. The people is the answer to solving the problems. We have a boots on the ground shortage because, again, our staff is funded with state dollars. When our enrollment's going down, because again, we're in competition with private schools, public schools, and now the Choose Act, and next year they can go, for the most part, students go where they want to. If your product is not one that people want to be a part of, it's not good.
Can you give an example of, maybe not calling out names, but an example of say somebody being stretched thin, where it might be somebody has a particular job title, but they're having to do something extra to.
How long do you want to talk?
Keep going.
Well, the first thing one of the first meetings, somebody stood up and said, well, if you need to cut costs and you're talking about cutting teachers, well, why don't you start at the central office? My answer was I did. I've eliminated a few positions at central office. We're all wearing about 20 different hats. You look at central office staffing compared to other districts. I'll put my crew against anybody around because we all do multiple jobs. Then you work all the way down to wherever you want to go. Teachers, a lot of our teachers do things after school with no kind of supplements or no kind of reward other than I'm going to slap you on the back and tell you I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Now, parents want the after school activities.
Right.
They want different activities for their child to do. Well, the reality is a lot of times we're relying on teachers to volunteer. You asked about a specific example. Now, a lot of this is playing the 3-shell game, which we've done pretty well, moving money around and all. But when I was a principal at Marbury, the hardest thing that I had to decide was I lost a unit. And as you know, you can't cut a tenured teacher. Anytime you lose units, you got to cut from non-tenured teachers.
Right.
Sometimes you have to cut really good teachers because you just don't have the unit, right? So I was told, hey, you lost a unit. Okay. Well, I got down to my choice was don't have varsity girls softball or cut art. Now, I had 150 kids in the art program. It was going really, really well. Guys were in Central Alabama. Y'all know what I decided.
Yeah.
I mean, art had to go for the year. Now, I got it back the next year, but that right there did something to me. Somebody said, well, why'd you go after the superintendent job? Because principals should not be in that scenario. Well, what about your education? Why aren't things growing? How can a program grow in a school in Autauga County? How can you grow electives when you're completely relying on state dollars to make your unit decisions? You lose some enrollment, so you lose a unit. So the first person you got to cut is the new program you just tried to start the year before. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And now flip side, I'm a coach. I think we had a pretty good run when I coached. Had a lot of great kids. I'm very proud of what we did. You don't see many guys stick around like some of us did with the pay we were getting. I stayed because it's home. Right? Well,
that's just it. You got to have somebody like yourself that's bigger than that.
Well,
it's not about the money.
But now, let's be honest, even in the coaching world, the pay is so much higher than when I coached. Man, the most I ever made coaching baseball was $3,255. In the first year we made playoffs, I got called in. The principal said, "Hey, by the way, we just went in proration. They just cut your supplement in half, and I need you to coach another sport for free." Right. I'm thinking I'm going to get a bonus.
Right.
You know,
You did good.
Well, the whole point of all that is, athletically, you know, I hear from our parents a lot. Why do our athletics? Why are we not doing very well? Now, I did redo all that. Our supplements are probably the highest. I know they're within the top 5% of the state in each classification, and with that comes high expectations. And I'm not batting an eye about that too. I mean, we've removed a barrier that I feel like kept us down for a long time. But here's the flip side of that. That's one of the things on the no side, cutting athletics. Well, why? Because that's the only place I can make up funding. That if we're running short on our budget, I've got to look on the things that are coming out of local dollars that are our largest expense. Athletic supplements are one of those expenses. I'm very proud that first time ever in the county's history, when we increased the coaching supplements, we also added in several fine art supplements that we've never had. You see more band supplements, you see theater, you see choir. Those kids are knocking it out of the park, man. They're all over the Southeast doing a great job. Well, historically, they didn't even get paid to do it. That was the reality of Watauga County. So parents go, well, why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? Well, guys, there ain't but so many days that a teacher or somebody can stay after school. They got families too.
Yep.
Well, just, you know, again, this isn't my home, and so I'm coming into this just fresh, blank slate. I think you make a compelling case. Seems like there's buy-in across the board from leadership. It seems like this isn't some like, give us a bunch of money and we'll do some project, big new thing. No, this is about improving what is already there. But I have to say the most compelling point, even though it's not my home, is it's your home.
That's right.
You're not some guy from somewhere else. This has been your home.
Right.
And if I lived there, I'd imagine that would speak volumes to me.
Well,
it speaks volumes to me not living there.
Well, you know, I take a lot of pride in my kids are involved in sports, and even if they were not, I got one daughter in band. If they were not, I'd still be at the athletic events. I think it's important. But I'm also going to be in the Dollar General. I'm going to be at the Walmart. You know, and
seeing folks.
Most of the people in the county have my cell phone. Like, you know, that's the job. I think that's one of the areas nationally or locally. I think that's where we've kind of went wrong as a country, is we've lost the ability to be able to hold people accountable. Yep. And if I'm going to ask people to pay more money, I'm not going to run from the questions when they come. You know, that's accountability. That's where we should be as a country. And
agree.
You know,
100%.
And how much, like, give or take, would this be for it's different with each property, right? But on average, how much are we talking?
All right. So the revenue department has told us what we need to do is talk more about home ownership, because that's a much more stable point of income. So on average, it's $70 for every $100,000 in assessed value. So the example I've been giving everybody is, I owned a home on Northington Road. It was when the tax appraisal came in, it did go up, which that's the other thing. A lot of properties tax appraisals went up this past year.
Sure did.
Which, again, I get it, because I had to pay more too, and now you're asking people to pay more. I'm not saying that argument's not legit, because it is. But back to my scenario, I own a house on Northington Road, and this past year I paid a little over $1,000. I think it was $1,020. It was valued right at $400,000. If you take that model I just gave you, 70 for every 100,000, my property tax on my house is going to go up from $1,020 to $1,300.
Okay,
so
it's not bad.
It's basically about 20%. Yeah. I mean, that's a good round number for people to figure. And again, all we're trying to do is this. If the answer comes in no, and people go, hey, I just don't have it. Okay.
To me, you've done your job.
Yeah, that's it. And all I'm trying to get out of this is this. If I have to close schools and reconfigure, I may have to do that even if the tax passes. I'm going to be clear on that, okay? I don't think so, but I may have to. But if I have to do these things, and I have to get back on budget, and I have to make some hard decisions, I just want it where when I get stopped in Walmart, I can say, sir, I hear you. Yeah. But that's why we put it out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. Just transparency.
Well, you've done all you can do.
Yeah.
You've put the warnings out there. You've laid all the information out.
Well, here, I don't know how long we got, but the most frustrating thing for me right now is I have some ideas that, quite frankly, very close to being able to pull the trigger on one I can't get into, but it would change the game with education in Watauga County. But I have no way of being able to make long-term plans, because to access the funds, I don't feel comfortable taking out the additional bond money that I will have to do.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So how do I make some improvements? Or I hear this a lot in Prattville. Why don't we have a new high school? Well, you got to go get a bond.
That's what I figured would be coming. It's
You know,
new high school,
like you got to have a bond. Now, can I get a bond today? Yes. I mean, we did a big analysis. That's part of our presentation. Yes. But when that analysis came in from a third party who actually would benefit for us getting a bond, the question wasn't, can you get a bond? The question was, should you? And the scenario that this guy gave us, Rice Advisory, I got to give him a lot of credit. They came in and did a detailed analysis. He said, you're the guy, like in most America, you're the guy that qualifies for a bigger house. The bank will give you the money. Should you? Well, if you go get the bigger house, you can't go out to eat. I don't know what you're going to do when something happens.
True.
That's your, he goes, that's your system right now. That's a sobering thought, you know? So, I can go to the bond market. I can build a new Prattville High School right now. I might close others and sell the properties to get the money to be able to make the bond payment.
Now, with more people moving up that way, does that help your cause at all?
Well, it does if we were not
kind of double-sided sword.
Yeah,
though, right?
if we were not losing enrollment, again, when you're completely relying on the state to get the units and the funding based on enrollment, you got to have your enrollment growing. That's what's killing us, and that's my job. I've got to figure out how to keep our people in Ottawa County. You know, so to answer that, the property values may be going up, but in order to get the $69 million, it has nothing to do with the property value. I have to give the state 10 mills of funding in order to get the $69 million from the state. So if I have 10 mills, that value, whether it's tripled or not, the value of a mill is the value of the mill.
Right.
So that's the biggest misconception. Well, all these houses, all this, all that.
All more and more, and I hear it all the time, more and more, I sell it all the time, more and more people moving up to Ottawa County.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to me, that's why you're kind of in the needs you are. You're doing more with a little bit less. You're getting the people, but obviously your attendance is a year behind.
Yeah. Here's the reality, okay? And we've done community meetings. We've done several. We went in every community, and I gave them data that went straight to their community. In Prattville, we are losing enrollment. The whole system in Prattville was built on a 2,000 to 2,500 student model when you got to Prattville High School.
Okay.
Prattville High School has about 1,700 and 1,750, somewhere around there. So we're significantly lower than when I graduated there in 2000.
Yeah.
We had well over 2,000 kids. Well, that whole dual feeder pattern is set up for 2,500 kids. So again, there's data.
Yeah. Somebody
Somebody asked me at Marbury, well, you know, in Marbury, Pine Level is a very fast growing area.
Yep.
Well, what's the plan? Because they're talking about putting in a subdivision. I said, sir, what do you want me to tell you? There's nothing we can do. Well, then I said, well, actually there is. And this is, and I coached out there.
Yeah.
This is the answer. If that subdivision goes in and I cannot go get a bond to build another school, I'm going to have to redraw the lines and send a lot of Marbury people to Prattville High School because their enrollment's down. Your enrollment's going up.
Yep. Kind of what I was wondering where that line's going to be drawn.
Now, would I do that? I mean, guys, let's be honest, probably not. But if I get in a crunch and that subdivision does go in and I'm looking at 500 new families, they've got to get education somewhere.
Yep.
If I don't have access to the bond market and feel comfortable getting that option, what do we do? Then obviously Billingsley, Ottawa, both of those areas, the enrollment per grade level is lower than everywhere else. You know, we got some big decisions, and I'm not trying to be the guy that, look, hey, you're just wanting to shut a bunch of schools. That's not the case. That's not. I will do everything I can not to. But I'm also the guy, if those decisions have to be made, I'm also the guy that's going to catch the heat walking into a Poblano's Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think we're pretty much out of time here, but I appreciate the message. And
I really do.
Think it's something very important everybody living there in Ottawa County needs to consider. This will be on the ballot in November, folks. So I know we're going to be talking about President Trump going to Mickey D's and all that. We think Trump's going to win Alabama?
100%.
Yeah. So, like,
100%.
it's these down ballot, not just races between candidates, but these local issues that are very important. Either way you go, I think you need to hear out this gentleman here and hear out other leaders in the area and make the right choice accordingly.
Sure.
Well, guys, we appreciate the opportunity to come on and
I
speak.
appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate it. Good meeting you, sir.
Yes, sir. Nice meeting y'all.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I'm Wes Allen, Secretary of State. In Alabama, election integrity is a top priority. We must ensure fair, secure, and transparent elections. To vote in Alabama, state law requires voters to present a valid form of photo identification. For a complete list of acceptable identification, or to learn more about acquiring a free photo voter ID, visit alabamavotes.gov.
This message is presented by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Well, hi, everybody. Our cool temperatures are recovering. Sunny and warm for October today with a high temperature up to about 82. Total sunshine. What a great start to the week. Clear skies, not as cool tonight. Still jacket weather, though. Low temperature down to about 51. We'll be still in the low 80s on Tuesday, middle 80s on Wednesday with more sun, and still in the 80s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 50s at night. We need the rain, but so far it looks like several more days of dry, storm-free weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. How you doing today, Eddie?
Pretty good, bud. Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think good. Best of luck to them. And Tonka County has a.
It's gonna be a tough sell, I think, no matter what. But good. Best of luck to them. I know, and I think a lot of people have forgotten how tough things were pre-COVID for education.
Mm-hmm.
And post, with COVID, there was money. We know it. They're printing money left and right, so reality's coming back in. I remember how things were in Montgomery before Hyundai. I remember they were getting ready to cut all kinds of sports programs.
No, and this is where, by the way, it might shock folks that essentially with the federal government, what do you think my position is? Abolish it?
100%.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Yeah.
We can work out the national defense thing later. Essentially, I'm an anarchist when it comes to the feds, and kind of when it's like, what good is the state? It seems a little top heavy and all this stuff. But when you get down to like real local, I don't mind a conversation about a tax. It's very different than a conversation about, say, a big federal income tax increase or whatnot, or even tariff. there's something about if you are in a local community where you're almost getting to the level of a covenant society,
Right.
then yeah, the people who are part of that little covenant need to be able to hash things out. And this is part of their identity. I think, actually, we need more of that. We need more, most decisions are made locally, especially taxing decisions, these sorts of things. But that's not the world we live in. And I can see how probably the school is hurt, but then everyday people are hurt. He brought it up. The inflation issue.
Well, not only
how
that,
much everything costs.
With everyday people, you're talking about teachers. And if I'm a teacher and I'm already scraping by, things are only getting more and more expensive. I get an offer from, and I know I see them all the time, from other school districts. Man, it would make my life a lot easier if I just go somewhere else. But I love this county, and that's tough decisions, people have to make. And they shouldn't have to.
No, shouldn't
have to.
272-9228. We got a few calls. Who's Mr. Nobody?
Mr. Nobody.
Hey, Joey, appreciate you taking my call.
Sure.
I listened to the superintendent from Watauga County, and I agree with some of the things he said. I'm just curious, and I wish we would have been able to find out exactly how they came up with the $7 million versus some other number in Biden's economy.
Good question.
Well, that's what I was wondering about, like the specifics. It seemed it's more like the system has been losing students and thus losing money for several years now.
Yeah, but I understand that they're losing students. I'm a Watauga County resident, and I pay taxes in. I have a house here in Watauga County. I graduated from Watauga County in '82, so I've been here for a while.
Right, home to you.
Yeah,
I'm 60.
Well, have you ran into like former students? Do you see, as a citizen of that county, do you see the school system issues that they're talking about, or is this all new to you?
Oh yes, I see them all the time.
Okay,
but I'm curious how they came up with the numbers that they came up with.
Okay,
and that's my biggest hold up on this.
All right,
is with Biden's economy and everything going downhill and everybody paying 30% more than they used to pay, and you're asking me to put another 20% on top of that, that if I come up $1 short, well, guess what? And the county now owns my property.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. What's your sense of it from the folks living there in Watauga County?
I think it may be, like he was saying, about 50-50, but there's a lot of people that I've talked to that kind of feel the way I do about why did they come up with that number and why so high with everything going through the roof. Yes, their expenses go up just like, they buy the same toilet paper. They get a little bit bigger discount because they buy in bulk, but, their costs go up, but why are you trying to hit all of the little people too?
Well, I hear you, man. And, we'll see what the community chooses. I appreciate the call, Mr. Nobody.
Well, thank you very much, and y'all have a wonderful day.
You too. This is part of the program brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management, and they're Clearwater's, Reed Waters and the team are ready to help you with tree trimming, stump grinding.
Oh, yeah.
Or full-on tree removal. And it doesn't have to be till it falls. Like, you could be worried about a particular tree.
Don't wait till it falls. If you can help it, don't wait till it falls.
What are some signs that a tree's about to fall?
Usually you'll have bark coming off there, like it might have gotten hit by lightning, or it's been dropping limbs for a little while.
Right,
Or you'll notice all the other trees around it are green, and it's not.
Oh.
Yeah. The limb dropping is usually what you notice the most, because in the beginning you'll see small limbs, but then all of a sudden you'll walk out and you'll see a 15-foot limb laying in the middle of the yard.
Okay, yeah. And yes, if you've got a leaner on your hands, if you got one that looks like it's dying, get rid of it before it falls on your house or your trucks or the carport or whatever. And then, of course, they can do tree trimming. Could be branches overhanging the house. Could be branches that are slapping the siding when it gets real windy. Could be more like line of sight issues. You're tired of driving through that bush every time you drive into your driveway.
Could happen.
I've seen places like that where it's like, man, there's no room in here.
Got the one clean spot on your car?
Yeah, there is no room in here. And of course, stump grinding. they can get rid of that ugly eyesore of a stump real quick. So check them out today. That number for Clearwater's Property Management, 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to Electrobama. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Right. How you doing?
Good. I'll start again. Thank you for that story to lead off. Give me something. I learned that's much obliged. Very interesting. I'd like to talk about the, well, I guess the most important thing again is what Mr. Trump has said about the military, use of the military, and he's just kept saying it again and again about the enemy within, which makes me wonder if we shouldn't, take him seriously. He's talked about Pelosi and Schiff, and why should I care about Pelosi and Schiff? Well, if he's threatening people, if we're going to, you talk about getting rid of the federal government, basically that's what we would do. We just have a titular head if we were down that path where, he thinks that just because he feels that he's been persecuted in the courts, that he deserves to be able to go down the path of beyond where he thinks he's, the corruption that he thinks has occurred, and just go to full, massive amounts, which is the danger of letting yourself be misled, and he let himself be misled. So, I think he's elevated himself to the level of terrorist, because if he's threatening his political enemies, he's basically threatening anyone who would vote against him, who would vote for Harris. So that's disturbing.
It's disturbing if you actually believe that. I don't think you actually believe that.
Well, he has followed through on some things.
Yeah, why is he telling the truth now?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If he would deign to say it, just saying it is chilling. Just saying it's a threat. And that's not protected, and certainly it's not wise for us to ignore it. He's corrupts the core. He likes oligarchs more than Kamala Harris does. There are dozens of instances when he enriched himself via the office. The typical reaction is, everyone does that. Well, if you hear people say that, then they don't have comparables, and then they're trying to control you. They should be getting into the details. I say we define problems, talk about actual solutions. Okay, I was super excited when Trump said he was going to drain the swamp. I believed him on that one. Mm-hmm. So he seems, if he's lying on that, then he's probably telling the truth the other way,
Yeah, but I think Trump isn't the one who's been abusing the powers of the national security state. When he was still president-elect, they used some of our most powerful surveillance capabilities to spy on incoming members. And that's, okay, you're going to have people spying on incoming members. You want to make sure, they're on the up and up. But then that is leaked to the New York Times. It is also ginned up very quickly with a lot of the Democrats. It'd be one thing to say the Democrats accused him of collusion with Russia, but when you essentially launder Oppo research through the national security state, and you frame an incoming president essentially for treason while taking out, neutering his attorney general and his national security advisor.
His attorney general?
Yeah.
Wait, is this are you talking about the document? Are we talking about actual things that happened?
No, I'm talking about the Kislyak screw job in particular. But my general point is the folks using the power of the national security state, the folks using the power of the judiciary to go after the political opponents, it ain't Donald Trump. And the guy who had people yelling, lock her up, did he lock up Hillary? Did he even pursue Hillary?
Well, he had a bunch of people who were, wanting to be on the up and up and be about the rule of law, and all of those people have declared that he shouldn't be president again. And they wouldn't be in there. They wouldn't be in there to control that. He would abuse his authority this time, 100%. I mean, if we ignore that, he's telling us. He keeps telling us. He can't stop.
Is the president in charge of the executive branch or not? Because what I often hear, I ask that because what I often hear from these folks is this guy actually thinks he's our boss.
Well, he is not. We have the rule of law in this country. He is supposed to execute the law, right? The executive branch.
Well, you have so many laws you can pick and choose. It's a bramble patch full of all sorts of ways people can manipulate one another. And we don't have the rule of law. We have the interagency process. We have the Administrative Act. We have an executive branch that essentially is beholden to the legislative branch. And
I'm all for simplifying the law, but we have to get together and figure that out. Mm-hmm. We can't have a dictator decide.
Is the president the commander-in-chief and allowed to move troops, or is it okay for, say, generals to lie about troop movements around Syria because they don't think it's wise policy? Are they the ones in charge, or is the president? Because there's example after example of essentially folks using the power of the federal government who aren't elected to take out this guy before he was even sworn in. And yet he's the one who's the threat?
Well, all right. On a podcast, he just went to a public rally and talked about the size of someone's cock. When he was asked about his favorite verse of the Bible, he said, they're all good, and that's private. No one says that. And when asked about repentance, he said he wasn't acquainted with the concept. Meanwhile, we have Kamala Harris, who was raised in a black church. She has multiple favorite Bible verses. She won't stop saying them on the campaign trail. We should be jumping for joy. And for every vote for Donald Judas Trump, every atheist who watches the difference between what we practice and what we preach is further from heaven and closer to hell.
Okay, man. Like, if you think religion and politics helps anybody, you're talking to the wrong guy. If I was the devil, I would be holding the Bible high. I'd have every verse memorized, and I would defend God to the hilt until I became his only sound, wonderful defender. And then I would then turn on everybody.
I mean, is it the whole world versus Trump?
It's not the whole world, but it is clearly it is clearly the establishment that has been very powerful in this country for a few decades. Yes. And it's not some grand conspiracy. It's just the interest of these institutions. And the blob, the national security blob, is one of the greatest ways to kind of see this.
They don't want to allow us to be given more power than he had before. And he did some wonderful things. He Project Warp Speed, he allowed that to happen. Got us the vaccine really fast.
Well,
and he did. I'm sure I can pull up on all of other things.
I'm just pressing you here because I don't think you actually believe he will be a dictator. I don't think you actually believe that.
I don't know. Part of me is chilled from voting against him by his threat. He's an actual terrorist, and he's saying it, and it's on the page. You may not be able to believe him on tape or in your. And I mean, I don't know how, but don't understand it. Because it's everything is a bad sign.
Well, it could be like we're in the middle of a Kafka short story and every which way is the wrong way. But I appreciate the call as always, Electro Obama. Thank you, sir. 272-9228. I just don't believe it. And everybody I've learned to loathe in politics, American politics, is on the other side of this. And I'm not talking about everyday people who might vote one way or another. If you think that's what I think, you don't think, or you don't actually listen to what I say. It's everyday people who are brainwashed and manipulated. It's the folks at the top that deserve what's coming to them. And what needs to be coming to them are a lot of pink slips. But we'll see. We'll see. 272-9228. Hey, let's go to Boomer T. Hey, Boomer T.
What up, Boomer T?
Wow. I'm just after that guy's conversation right there, I'm totally confused. I don't know which legs he put on first in the morning. I don't understand it. You know, dude, I don't know what he's thinking about. First off, does he not know that during a rally, at a Kamala Harris rally, someone said God was king, and she said you're at the wrong rally after she just got through talking about abortions? Hey, look here, dude. Let me ask you a question, son. Are you glad you're on this earth today? Are you glad you were able to call the Joey Clark show today and talk to Joey and babble on about crazy, awful, conspiracy, crazy stuff? Look here, then you need to thank your mother for that, and she didn't abort you. You know, Kamala Harris is nothing but a puppet for Barack Obama. Folks, if you don't believe it, just look at her. And let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. I know I've been married to my wife for 30 years, and I know a lot of ladies. I've never seen a woman wear the same pair of earrings every day for the same day every single time you see her, because that's why she's got those earpieces. And if you notice on her right side now, it's not on the left side when they busted her. She has her hair combed over, and when she speaks, you can see, watch her lips. You can hear she's talking to herself, repeating herself what people are saying. All I know is that Trump did a great thing. Am I better off now than I was 4 years ago? Hell no. Is my boat business, rental business on Lake Jordan slow? Yeah. Was the ice cream sale slow? Yeah. Yep. Was the beach sale? Yeah. Was all my buddies down at the beach got places down there that they sell ice cream and peanuts and hot dogs and all the stuff down there? Were they slow? Yeah. You know why? Because people cannot afford. Was people trying to rent Airbnb slow? Yeah. Yep. Because people cannot afford. Either you go to get groceries for your youngins, or you spend a weekend on the lake. And guess what? Then you ain't got no food. So I don't know where these people thinking that Trump's the devil. Trump was not the devil, dude. Trump was the greatest president. Look here. He got this place straight. Kamala Harris is going to do nothing but want to kill your babies and take all your money away from you. And finally, the African Americans, the Jewish people. Did you see on Joey? Did you see the Indian man in the McDonald's drive-thru?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
That's an Indian man. Did you see the lady from Great Britain that was over here, or from where? And she's like, "Thank you so much for Mr. Trump for what you're doing and what you did for us."
Or the lady from Brazil named Brazil. I love you, Donald.
Yes. I was going to say, these are not even American people, and they love him because they know good and well that times are hard. And if anybody out there, and just like you said, Joe, you asked that guy 3 or 4 questions, just like a typical Democrat, always never answers, always dances around the questions. Just say yes or no. When someone says, "Hey, look, Joey, look, is this shirt blue or black?" Say black or blue, whatever it is. You say the color. You know, well, you know, it could be blue or black. I mean, you don't dick around. So you answer yes or no. And that's the same thing Kamala Harris can't do. She can't answer yes or no. Well, folks, let me tell you something. You got 14 days, 15 days as a day. You better get ready, because let me tell you something. I'm enjoying what my little Social Security I get, and now they want to take it away from me, and I got to pay. That's another thing. Fuel taxes. Heck no. I'm 62 years old. I have no children. I have no grandchildren. I live in the country. I don't bother nobody. I don't go no daggone where. Why in the heck should I pay for little Johnny to go to school? Why should I have to worry about paying more property tax so more schools can be built? Our kids are the most ignorant and uneducated kids in the state. Do you understand that, people? 1,300 kids. 1,300 kids in Montgomery schools had to go back to the 3rd grade because they could not read. It's not the money. We keep throwing money, keep throwing money. The problem is we don't have nobody that's a leader. We have no true leaders. Everybody wants to come in there. I want to be on the board of education. I want to do this. I want to do this. But you know what? You get in there and you run your yaps. But when you stand up and say, stop asking for money, and let's get some greater, better teachers, let's help the teachers out, and let's start teaching the kids more things, and about if you can go pee in a damn woman's restroom with your pecker in your hand. Guys, y'all have a great day, and God bless America. Oh!
Thank you, sir.
See you, Boomer T.
He's not wearing an earpiece.
No, but when he said he don't bother nobody, I live around him.
He bothered folks?
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's a bit of a stretch.
Right.
I got a feeling.
We got to hit this top of the hour break. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A bipartisan House panel reporting the assassination attempt against former President Trump at a July rally in Pennsylvania was preventable and should not have happened in what it calls the stunning security failures at that event. The U.S. investigating a leak of classified documents related to Israeli military plans. The documents in the unauthorized release assess Israel's plans to attack Iran. They note that Israel continues to move military assets in place to conduct a military strike in response to Iran's ballistic missile attack earlier this month. It was not initially known if the documents were leaked or hacked. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 304 points. The NASDAQ composite is down 1 point. This is SRN News.
The socialists who want to move into the White House have a lot of plans for your money. One of them is to control the price of food, and this is just the start. Could 401ks and IRAs be next on their agenda? It might sound far-fetched, but so did price fixing just months ago. Hi, Donald Trump Jr. here. If you've spent decades building your nest egg, you can act now to stop your savings from falling into the hands of the socialists. It's why Americans are turning to gold, the ultimate safe haven in uncertain times. To see how easy it is to diversify your retirement with gold, get a free info kit from my friends at Birch Gold by texting the word prepare to 989898. Birch Gold makes it easy to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold while preserving your tax advantage status. Don't wait any longer. Protect your financial future now. Text prepare to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Our cool temperatures are recovering. Sunny and warm for October today with a high temperature up to about 82. Total sunshine. What a great start to the week. Clear skies, not as cool tonight. Still jacket weather, though. You know, low temperature down to about 51. We'll be still in the low 80s on Tuesday, middle 80s on Wednesday with more sun, and still in the 80s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 50s at night. We need the rain, but so far it looks like several more days of dry, storm-free weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get 0% financing up to 48 months with approved credit. Now on select Kubota track loaders and excavators. Get a Kubota. Now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Montgomery police are investigating a shooting that left a juvenile injured Saturday afternoon. Police responded to the 100 block of Amanda Loop off Lower Wetumpka Road, where a boy was found suffering from a gunshot wound. The juvenile was taken to a hospital for treatment. No additional details were released. Whitfield Foods Incorporated, a staple in Montgomery since 1906, has announced that it will be selling its assets to Sogo Packaging. Whitfield is known for its signature brand of Alaga syrup and hot sauce, plus its Yellow Label syrup products. Sogo will continue to operate the Montgomery site and says jobs will not be impacted. A Tallahassee man that was killed in a single-car crash in Elmore County has been identified. 31-year-old Oliver Reslin Collins' vehicle ran off Friendship Road and overturned Friday evening about 5 miles west of Tallahassee. Collins was not wearing a seatbelt and was pronounced dead at the scene. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hey y'all, this is Steve Kirkpatrick for Big Block Designs. I haven't always been a drafter. I grew up in the radio TV broadcasting business in Pensacola, which is why I know the value of advertising on Blue Water Broadcasting. And you know the first thing you do when you get in the car is turn on the radio. Blue Water Broadcasting gets results. Big Block Designs has grown because we advertise with Blue Water. It works. Want to grow your business? You should too. Have a better day.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
Want to take the price of new flooring and tear it in half? You can during Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, going on right now. Save 50% on select luxury vinyl plank and select carpets in stock. Stop into the store to register to win a brand new quartz countertop up to 75 feet until November 20th. No purchase necessary.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Shop now and save big at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome to the second hour. No, I'm just like, I'm continuing the conversation off air. Wait, I pay you monthly for this car, but we have to go back to the Stone Age, snail mail, if I want to do a full payoff. It's just absurd, this world we live in.
I've got to write a check and send it by mail.
Yeah, it's like, what are we in
Are you delivering it yourself? You put a stamp on it. You throw it in the box.
I know, but what if something happened?
Return receipt. There's a meeting.
Like, I'm just used to an electronic world where it's like payment confirmation. Here's your.
That is kind of strange that you can't say, hey, it's because it'd be same with a house payoff.
Right.
Yeah.
But I got to send you snail mail in order to pay off the car. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
First world problems, Joey.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have said that on air. But no, folks, I'm doing all right.
How was the hot wings this weekend?
It's still hurting. You forget it, it comes back to you.
It does.
It does. So the media really is melting down.
Dude, they are
over the Donald Trump.
They are lathered
trip
up,
to Mickey D's. And I mean, he had there's so many photos, memes now being made.
Are great.
It's so entertaining. I was saying for months that Trump should just visit fast food restaurants. Now he goes and works in one. And I think he even gave a birthday message out to Kamala Harris. So
that was cool.
Yeah. It's Kamala special. He's 60 years old. Yes, I would say happy birthday, Kamala. He's turning 60. I think I'll get her some flowers. I'll get her some fries. I'll give her some McDonald's. I'll get her a McDonald's hamburger. No, it is her birthday. It is good. Happy birthday, Kamala. Happy birthday. See you later.
Okay. He said something that cracks me up.
No,
This
he's
is
a dictator. He's wrong with what's wrong with this country. You can't speak the way to. Happy birthday, Kamala. Want some fries?
the way he talks. I'm becoming that old man. Instead of saying I'll get her a hamburger, I'll get her the McDonald's hamburger. I'll get her the Facebook. Everything.
Right.
I'm becoming that.
You are becoming that?
The Facebook showy. Everything is duh. I got to go to the TikTok. I got to go to the wall box. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this.
Man, look, this is just iconic photos coming in.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah, Trump in the apron. You can go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube if you want to see this, folks, or just go wherever on the internet. You can find this quick. But he's in the apron with the jacket off, and it's a blue and yellow apron with the red tie. And he's waving outside the drive-through window.
Yeah. That'd be a great Halloween gig to get a Donald Trump mask and work the drive-through.
Right. I mean, he really did have a lot of fun. His team put together this mashup where it was, it was his day at work.
Yeah.
And then he was asked about the whole McDonald's thing, like, why do this? Why even get into all this?
I know, Mr. President, I got a question for you. Either today or tomorrow, you're going to McDonald's. You're going to be working the fryer. Are you going to wear the paper hat?
I'm going to do everything. I tell you what.
You're going to do
it. A friend of mine
He's
owns
going to do it.
McDonald's someplace. Oh, I'm going. Because she lied.
You don't think she ever worked at McDonald's?
Nope. I know she did. We checked it out. Unless somebody comes up with something. We checked it out. They said she never worked here. She even picked the store. We went to the manager. The manager's been there forever. You remember her? No, she never worked here. They know. Okay.
No, so will you wear the paper hat?
And you know who else stopped talking about the press? If I said I worked at McDonald's and it turned out not to be true, this would be the front page of that stupid New York Times, the worst paper. It is the worst rag. The New York Times is the worst, they would have me front page for months. Nobody, I can't get any. That's why I have to do it myself.
And McDonald's released a statement Sunday admitting it has no record of Kamala Harris ever working there, as she has repeatedly claimed. And then, of course, this leads to Trump doing the whole thing.
I always wanted to work at McDonald's. I never did. I'm running against somebody that said she did, but it turned out to be a totally phony story. So, President Trump! Well, that's a good-looking group. Hello, everybody. Crazy. I'm having a lot of fun here, everybody.
Man. And he looks like the McDonald's manager. He's got the red tie.
Yeah.
With the
executive
apron.
It's way too... He's having fun. And I wake up this morning, and he's doing an interview with The Undertaker. Yes, a wrestling
me away.
With the dead man, with Taker. He's like, oh, they called you Taker behind the scenes? I thought that was pretty cool. Like,
that blows me away.
And me and Vince, we did the Battle of the Billionaires. I had to follow you. Like, most electrifying entrance in all of entertainment, I have to say. I'm like, okay, he's having fun.
No, he's having a good time. There's no doubt. Why, as you look at the other campaign, and it's just not a good thing to watch, to be quite honest. I watched a little bit of a rally she had yesterday.
Yeah. And again, this is Rorschach test time, so you see what you want to see, and you enjoy what you want.
One thing I noticed, just the reason I watched her rally, just see who was behind her.
Yeah.
It's all women except for one dude. I mean, that whole big panel behind her, I kept looking. That's the whole reason I wanted to see one dude.
This part of the program, speaking of that, brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, help you fellas out. Yeah, and, you should, as part of your annual men's health routine, get a testosterone and PSA check.
Yep.
In fact, every time they do a testosterone-focused lab workup, they also get a PSA score for you there at Montgomery Men's Health. It's a great marker for prostate health without the full invasive, finger wag. Mm-hmm. Y'all know what I'm talking about, over 50, right?
Mm-hmm. 40.
Over 40?
Over 40.
Well, you only have like 4 or 5 years till that's...
They keep lowering the age. They do.
Conspiracy?
I think so.
Anyway, Big Procto. But Montgomery Men's Health, they can check that prostate health without that invasive procedure. Yep. And, if you are experiencing the symptoms of low T, which especially it's a combination, lack of motivation, energy, and drive, including a decrease in sex drive, weight gain, loss of muscle mass, and you haven't really changed your habits in terms of
Right.
eating or activity during the day. You just feel like you're walking through your life in a fog. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health can help you understand those symptoms through that testosterone focused lab workup. And they have low T treatments there that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Let's go to Thunder.
He just knocked it out of the park, didn't he?
Say that again?
Boomer T just knocked it out of the park. He did a great job on the idiot that I was going to call in specifically to rail on. I do want to get that man's name and address so that we can send the next busload of illegal invaders to his house, because he is now responsible for them, not me. Why should I have to pay for somebody coming into this country illegally? Why? Why should I have to take care of them? Then we go back to the school issue. I just got my tax bill for this next year. I live in a less than 1,700 square foot house in the city limits of Opelika with a decent sized lot. And my tax bill for next year is $930. Yeah.
What was it 2 years ago? Do you remember?
2 years ago, it was less than 600.
Yep.
So this idiot that does not understand that it is not just one thing we are fighting against on this current administration, it is a plethora of things that we are fighting against. The fact that abortion at will is set up. Why would you go out and get pregnant just so you could have an abortion? There are methods to keep from getting pregnant. Many of us women have used those methods at one time or another in our lives. Not because we didn't love children, but because it wasn't in the child's best interest or our best interest to have a child at that time. So we used protection. It's very simple. There are a multitude of things. There are things that men can even do to keep women from getting pregnant. And I suggest that a lot of those men really need to be thinking about that. The issue is this man has castigated one man for all of the ills of this country. And he keeps hammering on them in a manner that is absolutely insane. Those who want Kamala Harris in office are those who support the illegal invasion of this country, abortion at will, the takeover of our country by various cartels. It's not just Venezuela that's out there that sent people into this country. We have illegal Chinese, illegal Koreans, illegal individuals from various countries in South Africa.
Hundreds of countries all put together, yeah.
You know, you don't have to believe me. All you have to do is walk around in any somewhat large city, in any of the enclaves that house the illegal invaders, and listen to the foreign accent. That's all you have to do, and watch what they are doing. I suggest people need to be careful, especially in the next 3 weeks. And should the obvious cheating that we saw during the last election not be successful this time, and we are able to put Donald Trump back into office, you need to be real careful those weeks afterwards. Should our Congress decide not to put a legally elected president into office, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with a Supreme Court that does not look at the situation fairly. I look at the courts that have ignored the evidence that's sitting in front of them. We need to be voting out every one of those judges that we can vote upon, every single one. And then we need to be petitioning our local authorities to defund those judges' salaries because they're not doing a job for the people of this country. They're doing a job for someone else. He's not your friend. Thank y'all for staying on this, and thank y'all for what y'all are doing. Because if you don't show the idiots like this man and show them for what they are, then people like Kamala Harris will be accepted. And Boomer T, you're right on the earrings. I have a whole lot of different pairs of earrings, and I switch them out almost every day. I had looked at her earrings today when she was on, and you're absolutely right. That's the same pair of earrings she's always been wearing here lately, and she doesn't appear to be nearly as insane when she speaks. Still have a problem understanding why anybody can laugh at the situation that happened in North Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, and the rest of these states that were hit so hard by Helene. I have a hard problem understanding why she can laugh at that. I don't see anything funny about it at all. Y'all keep up the good work.
Appreciate the call.
Thanks, Thunder.
Man, people are riled up.
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
Well,
I'm just happy about the McDonald's appearance.
Getting closer and closer to the election.
No, I treat this again like a big WrestleMania match. And I really want Trump to win and go over.
I think a lot of people do.
By the way, did I mention he talked to The Undertaker today?
That made your day.
And the entrance into the ring is the greatest entrance into any arena that I've seen, okay? And I don't think it's going to even be topped. The whole thing of the music, the whole deal. And by the way, he's a dynamic guy.
Trump just complimenting The Undertaker. It was supposed to be them interviewing him, and he just sat there and kept asking questions about wrestling.
Has that never happened to you before? Like, okay, your job is to interview folks. When you get somebody that you're so just taken with, you're like, I know I'm supposed to be interviewing you.
Oh, the really good politicians will ask you a question. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they do that for a different reason. Kind of throw you off your game.
Oh, no. I've had both senators, like, turn it back on me. So, Joey, what would you do about that? I'm like, I'm not a senator.
First, I wouldn't run for.
But, of course, with my big egotistical brain that is required as a part of the job here in talk radio, of course I give an answer.
Full of strings.
It's like, you don't redirect me, I redirect you.
I do the redirecting.
You don't redirect me, I redirect you. Actually, it was a good time with Senator Brett on Friday.
Great time with her Friday. Even after the show, which most people didn't get to see. But we had a good time. It was a little bit hectic for a few minutes, but it was a lot of fun.
She's going quick.
Yeah.
Crazy schedule. I can't imagine somebody who looks like Trump especially. I can't imagine these schedules.
But here's the thing that really strikes me about her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just her.
Yeah.
I don't see
when she's in town, it's
I don't
usually
see the
just her.
bodyguard. I don't see that entourage.
Yeah, no.
But with most other politicians, I don't care if they're the dog catcher. They usually bring somebody with them.
No, she lives here in Montgomery.
I love it.
Like, I've run into her a few times. Like, yeah.
Yeah, love that.
It's no pretense. I like it. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Let's go to line 5. You're on there. Who's this?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. This is Babs.
Hey, Babs. Hey, Babs.
Bummer T, and, well, she used to be called herself Peace Spear. Now they nailed it. But I want to tell that gentleman that I just turned on the radio. I've been in the exercise class, and I just turned the radio on when he was spewing. But some of the vilest, evil people that I know, satanic people, I don't know satanic people, they know the Bible. They know the Bible, and because she spouts off some Bible scriptures, didn't show me a thing. And I am just blown away that there are people out there like that. It's just beyond my comprehension. I've told you before, I'm not smart, but I got common sense. So,
Common sense ain't all that common no more.
Not anymore. No, sir. too much TikTok. And by the way, the reason that I say the Facebook is because that's what Joey got me started saying.
I call it the Book of Faces.
That's right, the Book of Faces.
Yeah. All right.
But I've got to where I say the Facebook.
The Facebook
you know.
and the Walmart.
See, but you just kind of hurt Eddie's feelings. You said too much TikTok. He got all like pouty over here.
That's just I get it.
Well, you have common sense. Yes,
You need
do.
to see some of my
I
life
love
decisions.
you too. I love you too. I love this show. I can't listen to it more than I do, but even I listen to reruns. But like I said, you listen to that kind of stuff, and people just believe it. It's just scary to me. And when they said yesterday that it's going to be very close and it might have to go to the Supreme Court and then to Congress, I thought,
I just don't see that.
I mean, it's possible.
I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
I just
though.
don't
The
see it,
big
though.
Mo seems to be heading Trump's way.
Yeah.
But don't you remember back in the day when him and Hillary were running, they were saying the same thing about Hillary?
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I know who's in control of all this, and I know how this country has been acting in the last 20, 30, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And God may see fit, to let us have her. But I don't know if you guys pray a lot, but we better start praying and praying real hard.
Now's a good time for it.
Yes, sir. Love you guys. Thank
Love you too, Babs.
Thank you, Babs.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And they're at All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. They're ready to serve you.
Yeah.
They're based out of Tallahassee, Alabama, but they serve the entire river region and surrounding areas. And they can be your one-stop shop for all HVAC and electrical needs.
I think they're going to get busy here pretty soon.
Yeah, now's the time of year to make sure, just get a checkup.
Get a checkup. I'm telling you, because the last thing you want is to wake up in the middle of the night because it got cold on you, and you go turn the heat on, and all you hear is click.
It's hard to get going in the morning.
Yes,
it's
that's
easy
true,
to
too.
stay under the blankets,
Yeah.
that comforter and all that. But so get your HVAC system at least checked up as we see this change of the seasons. I'm liking it, starting to turn into jacket weather.
This is fat boy weather.
And then they're also specialized then there at All Pro in a Generac generator install.
Yeah.
And don't treat it as like some big expense and all. No, treat it like an investment into
true
your property,
investment,
into
yes.
your home. It not only gives you peace of mind when the storms roll through that you're going to have power, it really does up the value of your home. Eddie can tell you. You show up with a couple and the guy gets
they
all
get
excited
right from the get go, and the wife does too,
Generac.
because she realizes, okay, when the storm is coming on, I'll still have power.
There you go. So y'all check out All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical today. You can always go to allproheatingair.com or give them a call at 301-1961. That's 301-1961. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to Robert. Hey, Robert.
Hey, guys.
How you doing, Robert?
Joey, Eddie. Hey, man, thank y'all for letting me on. I enjoy y'all's show.
Mm-hmm.
I also enjoy all the people that comment on the show. And I'm going to tell you, for me, I did like the French fry thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been to McDonald's. We all love the fries, but I like fries everywhere too. But
Yeah, Trump was saying, "Ooh, give this one to him. Get it hot. They're hot.
Hot fries. Hot fries.
I'm sorry for using the word hell, but yeah. Hey, a former president is putting out fries. Now, we know it was all staged.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to make sense. Hell, he's just got a hole in his ear.
Oh, no, like, Robert, the whole thing has been Newsweek in particular. That's what I named the show on the stream. Is that Newsweek reminds MAGA you don't hate the corporate press enough. Because they came out with, here's a Newsweek headline from 7 hours ago. Rumors have been circulating on social media that former President Donald Trump's visit to the popular fast food chain was staged.
Shocker. Shocker.
No doubt.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And then they came out with another one 5 hours ago. An inspection report for the McDonald's restaurant in Pennsylvania cited employees not having hands clean and properly washed. So now you're attacking the local franchise. Thank you very much, Newsweek. Go jump in a lake.
Hey, and what gets me the most is it is a franchise. It doesn't matter what McDonald's says.
Right.
It's owned by franchisees.
Yep.
They have rights too, right?
That's exactly
And what do you
right.
think of that kid with, like, he lets that hair go a little more, it's going to be a mullet, but he's got that caterpillar, like that mustache that was teaching Trump how to work the fryer? Man, if I was that kid, I would have had to wear a diaper that day. Like,
He's rocking the stash.
wait, I've got to train who?
You got, y'all are letting on some, I like hearing the callers. I could go into all different kind of subjects, just like the lady. Anyway, I can agree with a lot, but what I agree with is you showed the French fry. And then here's my outside thing that I want to say is I'd love Barack Hussein Obama, our former president, to come down here to Montgomery, Alabama, right?
Okay.
And give a rally and tell all my brothers here in Montgomery that they're misogynists.
Yeah, that's the latest theory.
Good luck with that.
Isn't that kind of like Donald Trump going to California? Why can't Barack Hussein Obama come down here and talk to all my brothers? Because this is anecdotal. I was just up at my convenience store. Y'all know I visit every day, right?
Yeah.
You can tell that, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I was up there, and I was talking to a couple of my brothers. They were black.
Okay, yeah, we get that, man.
And they saw my Trump hat, and I think they're Trumpers. But Barack, he's such a king.
Yeah.
Maybe he can come down here and tell us. In other words, if you're trying to reach the black man, you come down here to Montgomery, Alabama. Y'all come down here every year to do that trek across the Selma Bridge. You keep coming down here with racism. Well, look at here, brother. We've lived with racism down here. Come on down here. Come on, Barack. And then
Okay.
C.T. Harris.
Okay, you had way too much at the convenience store today. I appreciate the call, Robert.
See you, Robert.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
Later, buddy.
Hey, y'all have a good one.
You too, man.
Goodness gracious, I was going off the rails quick. Two 272-9228.
Did you know that Facebook was originally called the Facebook?
It was, yes.
I did not know that. Kudos
Right.
just let me know. So
Right.
perhaps I just haven't really accepted the new name yet. I'm still old school with the Facebook.
You're not down with like the way Trump does all these things?
Jojo, you're an expert at this, huh? Let's go. Thank
Okay,
you.
President Trump. So for our first order that's going out the window, we're going to need 3 medium fries. So would you like to put the medium fries in the bag?
I think so, yeah. So we'll do that. Because you know who's taking these.
This was a setup? This is not real?
Did they ever ask for more salt? Supposing we want some extra salt.
He's trying to improv, Joey.
We will give them salt.
I love salt. Wait a minute, I still don't.
No.
I'm very superstitious.
He starts throwing it over his shoulder.
Let's go.
So we're going to start from this side.
Yeah, fine. Put them in standing up, right?
Correct.
No, that's not the way they give them to me.
You're an expert at this, huh? How long have you done this? How long have you been?
I've been working with McDonald's 10 plus.
10 plus? Wow. All different jobs? She doing a good job?
Does an excellent job.
She better, right?
Does an excellent job.
This is beautiful. Let's go.
It was fabulous, folks.
Imagine the story she's going to have to tell.
Like, ain't that America?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, that's what this campaign has become. He has leaned into, I think, everyday American culture.
Well, you saw they gave him a special hat the other day, too. He was at a job site. And construction workers gave him a special hat, hard hat. And
Right.
it doesn't get any more blue collar than guys wearing hard hats.
Well, and it
working
could.
across
Can you
skyscrapers.
imagine Mitt Romney trying to do something like this? Like, it's not just any old photo op.
Didn't he do the hot dog thing?
Yeah, and it was miserable.
Right. So, no, I cannot imagine.
No, and there's like, I don't know of any other politician that could just, especially Trump. It's like you put him in almost any situation, and it's like his Donald Trump trading cards. Better get them. Oh, wait. Already sold out, losers.
He's very comfortable with himself.
But you know how each one of those had like Trump is a cowboy and Trump is a superhero.
Cowboy, baby. Yeah.
Now Trump is a McDonald's worker. Special
He's
edition.
a fry guy.
We have special edition Trump trading cards with me working to make. Oh, we already sold out. Sorry, losers.
Do you think those folks that got French fries and food from the McDonald's drive-thru, do you think they kept some of that stuff as a memento?
Oh, yeah. Man.
I would. We'd have done another circle back. Hey, Donnie boy, can you sign my Big Mac box?
Well, and one of my favorite memes that was put out there is Trump indicted for giving a customer 7 nuggets when it should have been 6. Yeah, right.
He's just keeping it real.
He's going to turn the military on everyday citizens, right? Or on Schiff and Pelosi. Give me a break.
Yeah, we all see things different.
No, he's going to buy Mickey D's for the national champs like he did
That
Clemson.
I would see, and done that before.
Hey, Nancy, do you want a filet of fish?
Double filet fish.
With that wine? Double. Hey, let's hit a break.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here are the 5 steps you'll have to take to buy a home in this market. First, it's so important to get pre-qualified through a local lender because to get an offer accepted, you will have to have a written pre-approval letter submitted with your offer. Second, it's critical that you have identified the 3 most important must-haves with a house, including the location where you want to live. Third, always hire a professional buyer's agent that will represent your best interest and to be looking out for your interests, not the seller's interests through the transaction, working on your behalf all the way to the closing. Fourth, hire the best home inspector you can find. Let him identify the issues with the home. Let your agent negotiate on your behalf for needed repairs. Fifth, close with a top-notch closing attorney's office that will examine the title, provide you with title insurance, and give you good title in the future. For a complete list of buyer agent services, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Ah, Igor, don't you just love the sound of thunder? No, Dr. Frankenstein. It's scary. But I need a lightning bolt to bring the monster to life.
Actually, lightning is scary. A single strike within a mile of your home can send a tidal wave of voltage through the wires, burning out your computers, TVs, and GFCI plugs, even refrigerators and ovens.
Aw, drat, missed us again.
But here's the good news. The trained technicians at Crosby Electric can install an economical whole house system to protect you from electrical surges caused by lightning, downed power lines, nearby factories, or just the recycling of your own appliances.
Igor, why am I not getting a surge? Well, I have a pretty good hunch. Why, yes, Igor, and a fine hunch it is.
Igor ordered whole house surge protection from Crosby Electric. So should you. Visit crosbyelectric.com or call 272-2085.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. Our cool temperatures are recovering. Sunny and warm for October today with a high temperature up to about 82. Total sunshine. What a great start to the week. Clear skies, not as cool tonight. Still jacket weather, though. You know, low temperature down to about 51. We'll be still in the low 80s on Tuesday, middle 80s on Wednesday with more sun, and still in the 80s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 50s at night. We need the rain, but so far it looks like several more days of dry, storm-free weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. We've had some activity in the comment section. Romex Angler saying, I think he's referring to me, if you're now doing good in life, now can you afford a decent cowboy hat? The headphones will lay back under the brim, so that's not an excuse. Actually, yeah, I mean, you've got this whole band on top, man.
Cowboy hat.
You don't think I should get a cowboy hat?
I mean, unless you want to make my day. It will make my day.
Okay, no, that's creepy.
Oh no, the hilarity that we will have with Joey in a cowboy hat, the fun, the memes.
What's so funny about me in a cowboy hat?
Did you ever see Eastbound and Down, the movie?
No, not the movie.
Okay, well, at the beginning of the movie, you got two real rich guys looking for Burt Reynolds. One of them's the daddy, and one of them's the son. Well, the daddy's 6'1", and the son is about 4'8".
Yeah.
And I would start with you on that.
I'm not 4'8".
But in a cowboy hat, you'll look like you're somebody that's 5'2". That's really.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeehaw.
We'll start with that, and then we'll probably get you a buckle.
Buckle. And then proper cowboy boots.
Yeah, gotta have a name across.
Stuff the jeans into the boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them know you're for real.
Man, those jeans a little tight. You got that stretchy material?
You can't wear stretchy jeans if you're a cowboy, Bubba.
What are you talking about?
Saying.
I think that's allowed.
I don't think so.
I think it is very much allowed.
That's why you're not a cowboy.
Well, I remember a cowboy documentary saying.
You are a man. Sometimes you wear stretchy pants in your room. It's for fun.
Let's go to Papa B. Hey, Papa B.
Eastbound and Down. Was that Convoy?
No, that was
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
What's her name?
Convoy was. I don't think that was Burt Reynolds. Though. That was another '70s trucker movie. Darn, I can't think of who was in it. Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down was just the song, the theme song of it. But anyway, what do I know?
Smokey and the Bandit was the movie I'm talking about.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I was about to say, Eastbound and Down's the Danny McBride show.
If you know Smokey and the Bandit, I assumed you knew Eastbound and Down. Okay. My bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, it was the Dukes of Hazzard, the movie.
Yes.
You know, I mean, this.
Yes.
Anyway, so, you know, we got, well, this is what gets me, all right? So, you cannot find a mainstream media somebody to go ahead and at least acknowledge the difficulties and the, you know, the problems with the 2020 election. Right. They all go to, no, there's no problem.
Right.
No problem whatsoever. I mean, it doesn't matter how many you throw up in their face. No. Trump lost. Biden won. That's it. End of story. No intellectual curiosity whatsoever. I guess, I don't know. They're afraid of being, outcast in the industry or something like that, you know. And, of course, they all, the false narrative, the fake narrative, the debunk. But there were real problems. And, you know, sooner or later they're going to come to light. It's the same thing that happened with the Russia hoax. Same thing. All these people, all these media types, they were right on board with it. I mean, they had to be dragging and screaming to the actual truth. And even though you got them there, they still don't want to really talk about it.
Right.
You know, or the COVID thing. You know, yes, we know all this stuff, but they still don't want to talk about it. I mean, what we've got to do basically is just take them by the nape of the neck and rub their noses in it. Get them to confess, like, you know, Inquisition type style. You know, put them on the rack until they finally cry out. We couldn't have a problem. You know, I mean, I don't know what it's going to take, but there were Georgia, the legislature there found that it never should have been certified. The 2020 election never should have been certified. That's part of the legislative process. Couldn't get a court to hear it. It's like unbelievable. I can't. Joey, why? I mean, is it just such lockstep?
Because it's not about some of it's people being in lockstep, and some folks are very earnest about it, and they really believe what they're saying. But I think at the end of the day, what's true doesn't matter. It's more what can you get away with. And I don't mean that in life in general. I think what's true is very important. But when it comes to the politics, they'll do what they need to do.
You cheated fair and square.
Yeah, they stole it fair and square.
Well, that's a bunch of baloney. So I like the term because it describes what happened. The fair and square. Now, you know, at least if they cheated, go ahead and let's point it out.
Well, but that's the joke. Where's the fair and square in any politics? It just it doesn't exist.
Well, you got a point there.
Right.
And I would say that, you know, okay, yeah, Trump and team, they should have been ready for it somehow or other. And in this election cycle, I believe they are. In Michigan right now, the report I heard over the weekend is that there are 500,000 registered names in the registry that can be said to need to be purged, Now, I mean, you know, the True the Vote Fund, all the other people, they've done, you know, just the Lord's work in, you know, getting to all these states and purging the road. But there's some places, Michigan being one of them, with Gretchen the witch up there. She's not going to do anything. You know good and well what they're using it for, some nefarious purposes. They're going to use those voter rolls any which way they can. And, you know, they're going to use all of the absconded Social Security numbers any which way they can. And, you know, you got to really take time to delve into the person that's voting in order to really discover it. Well, you know, when you're in the heat of an election, how much time do you have to devote to discovering whether this person is actually a voter or not? You don't. So the vote goes in the hopper. You can't tell the difference between it and another one, and bada bing, bada boom, you know, somebody wins that weren't supposed to. Legislature in Michigan wants to do something about it. Courts aren't going to do anything. They're controlled by the Democrats. That's just how partisan. They don't care if they're corrupt and they're voting corrupt. They just plain don't care. It used to be at least they would have like a big league over it or something, but now it's just out there. But you got to force them into it. What's the answer? I don't know.
Well, I think also the early mail-in voting was a huge problem in 2020, and already you're seeing that down by magnitudes in this cycle, which is, I think, a good sign.
Well, I think the reason that it's good for the Republicans to go ahead and get in there is because of these stupid Dominion machines, these stupid Smartmatic machines. You can tell me all day long that they're not controlled, but we hear report after report of them flipping votes. once they're banked in early voting, that's it. They can't flip them anymore, you know. So how many times have we heard, this machine, it flipped my vote. I voted for Trump, it flips it to whatever. Biden, now Harris. You know, how often does that go on? Well, also to help with the chief, for sure. So, yeah, I think the early voting is helpful for the Republican side. Anyway, talk to you on this. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, Poppy.
2729228. I'm just trying to have fun today with the McDonald's stuff. Everybody's so serious. I love you, Papa B. I love you, Thunder. I love you, Boomer T. I even love you, Electro Bama. But everybody's so daggum serious. Let's just have fun and listen to him talk to the Undertaker and eat our McDonald's and like it.
You know, he even said something about the beef fat. They need to swap back.
Yeah, they do need to swap back.
Yeah, I'm glad that he kind of brought that up, too.
Oh, beef tallow fries, man. Right. Beef tallow is great. Duck fat fries are also fantastic.
I did not even think about
very, very good.
Really?
Yeah, especially double frying them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like true fats.
Yeah.
Like tallow, duck fat. I've never really used chicken fat. And of course, lard, like pig.
Use chicken fat for fish and bait.
Yeah. Anyway. Hey, this part of the program, this entire hour, in fact, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. They're ready to help you.
Yes, they are.
Now, it could be you're on the fence. You've been on the fence. Is this the right time to buy? Is this the right time to refinance the house? Well, interest rates are moving. Things are happening. And so it's at least worth a conversation with Alabama Home Mortgage. You don't have to pull the trigger.
Right.
Just get to know them. Let them get to know you, your goals, and say refinancing a home. Maybe the interest rate has moved where this makes sense for you and your goals.
They have been going down.
They really have. Or it could be you're looking for a trusted company. You just moved into the area. You got to buy. You don't care what the rest of the market's doing. You're buying right now because you just got into town. You don't want to rent. Well, go with the folks that can turn around that closure quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That can turn around, well, everything without any surprises on that closing day.
Nobody wants surprising on closing day.
Folks who are trusted here in the area. I think the best in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Call them today. That number for Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
I'm Wes Allen, Secretary of State. In Alabama, election integrity is a top priority. We must ensure fair, secure, and transparent elections. To vote in Alabama, state law requires voters to present a valid form of photo identification. For a complete list of acceptable identification, or to learn more about acquiring a free photo voter ID, visit alabamavotes.gov.
This message is presented by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I mean, this is unusual. Usually it's me in a bad mood and the callers trying to turn that around. It seems everybody's all feisty, worked up. It seems like there's an election in, 2 weeks? And everybody's real worried about the outcome. Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned about it too, but come on, folks. There's more to life in politics.
Yeah.
You don't seem convinced.
I'm sorry, I got a phone call while I got to ruin my day.
No, it's all right. It's just like when you went, yeah, I looked up and saw what you're wearing. You're like, there's more to life than. But he's wearing an American flag, essentially.
Yeah.
It's an American flag print. It's not an actual flag.
Yeah.
Let's go to Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Cheer up, everybody. Hey, Michael.
Well, I mean, when you say that there's more to life than blank.
Right.
I don't know. But
I didn't say that.
I don't know.
I didn't say that.
Let Kamala win.
There you
That's all
go.
that there is.
So, what's the score there today at Cohen?
The Alabama score is horrendous, but the Cohen score, we're doing okay. It's 14-0.
Good deal.
All right.
That's right. Late Friday, we had a service call. So we had a customer come in. He bought 3 TVs from Walmart, but he forgot that we sold TVs, is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
But he came in. He bought some audio video stuff to go with his television. Michael Jacks goes out there and installs his 3 TVs and his audio system. Everything is great, but then we get a phone call Friday that he's got some issues with his system. So Michael Jacks gets out there and looks at it, and the issue that he has is that his Samsung TVs, which are the lower levels, they're not the QLEDs, they're what Walmart sells. But anyway, they were losing the internet, and so all of his apps that he had, he couldn't get to his apps because he had lost his internet. And because he didn't have everything set up with his online credentials, that was part of his problem. But the other part was just the TV was dropping the apps and the Wi-Fi. And so, Michael tried to explain to him, says, we're happy to come out here. We're going to take care of this. And, we'll get it back going, but I can't be responsible for your television having issues. And, of course, that's an advantage to buy from us because when he installs it, then, he's going to come out there and take care of you and make sure everything's good for up to a year, whereas I can't do that with stuff that we didn't get to sell.
Right.
That would be more of a Walmart issue, and Walmart, they don't have those issues because they don't have a service department.
That's exactly right.
So that becomes your issue. Anyway, we got him taken care of, and hopefully he'll get with Walmart and get his TV swapped, whatever he needs to do, and everybody will be happy.
Well, folks, it's why you just go to Cohen's.
I'm
Go to
telling
Cohen's in the first place.
Save the headache. Go to Cohen's.
It's great products and an amazing service. You can always, shop from home at thinkcohens.com. But there's nothing like actually stopping by the showroom. If you want to really experience, say, the great massage chairs or the big TVs or the sound systems or the whole appliance side of the store, it's better to see that with your own naked eye.
Yeah.
And that's 2515 Eastern Boulevard where they're located, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. You can always stop by 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael and say, hey, I heard you on the radio with that Joey and Eddie guys.
That's right. Come see us and let us ask you some questions. You ask us a bunch of questions and let us help you make the right choice for whatever your needs are. It's not just about sell in a box here. We want to actually sell you something that you're going to be happy with for years to come.
Right.
Well, appreciate it, Michael. Talk again soon.
Take care.
272-9228. I got to hit this top of the hour break.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Israel's military says it's now taking aim at the Lebanon-based Hezbollah's financial arm and plans to attack a large number of targets in Beirut and elsewhere. Authorities say at least 7 people were killed Saturday. That's after part of a ferry dock collapsed on Georgia's Sapelo Island. Multiple people were taken to hospitals. The collapse happened as crowds gathered on the island for a celebration of its tiny Gullah Geechee community of black slave descendants. In sports, Oregon is the new number 1 team in the AP College Top 25, followed by Georgia, Penn State, and Ohio State, and number 5, Texas. The Dow dropping 358 points. The NASDAQ is down 1 point. This is SRN News.
The socialists who want to move into the White House have a lot of plans for your money. One of them is to control the price of food, and this is just the start. Could 401ks and IRAs be next on their agenda? It might sound far-fetched, but so did price fixing just months ago. Hi, Donald Trump Jr. here. If you've spent decades building your nest egg, you can act now to stop your savings from falling into the hands of the socialists. It's why Americans are turning to gold, the ultimate safe haven in uncertain times. To see how easy it is to diversify your retirement with gold, get a free info kit from my friends at Birch Gold by texting the word prepare to 989898. Birch Gold makes it easy to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold while preserving your tax advantage status. Don't wait any longer. Protect your financial future now. Text prepare to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Our cool temperatures are recovering. Sunny and warm for October today with a high temperature up to about 82. Total sunshine. What a great start to the week. Clear skies, not as cool tonight. Still jacket weather, though. You know, low temperature down to about 51. We'll be still in the low 80s on Tuesday, middle 80s on Wednesday with more sun, and still in the 80s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 50s at night. We need the rain, but so far it looks like several more days of dry, storm-free weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union, the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Katie Britt believes that 2 areas of concern here in Alabama will be quickly resolved if Donald Trump is elected the next president. Britt was speaking on Talk 93.1 News and Views with Joey Clark when the issues involving the Mexican government harassing Alabama-based company Vulcan Materials came up, as well as the placement of the U.S. Space Command headquarters in Huntsville.
How in the world are you going to tell any company they should relocate in Mexico and create jobs and opportunity for the people there if you know that they don't respect private property? That
they'll steal your company.
They will steal your company and steal everything that you've invested in there. So I think Vulcan taken care of immediately. And I also think that that helps every, not just our Alabama company, every American company, when they know that their president has their back. It's a game changer in dealing with other countries. And then I think obviously Space Command, I think we get it back to its rightful home in Huntsville.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
Tuskegee University had its very first military flyover this past weekend. The 12 pilots flew over the stadium in Tuskegee just before the Golden Tigers took on Kentucky State in a Saturday game. Tuskegee University conducted the flyover as part of its fall open house season. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation, as the big voice said. Well, and thank you to 1819 News for crediting our show.
Yeah,
you were hearing that, and I went to the restroom, and I'm coming back in, and Eddie's laughing his head off.
The clip that they grabbed was me screaming in the background, "They'll steal your stuff!"
Right? I was trying to get you to calm down, but you were excited.
You brought
Friday.
her in. We know she's captivating,
She is
and then we were talking about something we both care about, so I got a little passionate. My bad.
See, but we didn't get the big story. Jeff Poore actually asked, because I didn't even know when Trump said, and there's a very attractive senator, intelligent, all this. The liberal media apparently freaked out about that.
Of him calling her attractive?
Yeah.
Okay.
But apparently, according to Senator Brett herself, again, we should have asked about it. I didn't even know it was a controversy.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we heard it, we're like, yeah, it's true. Apparently, often when Trump calls her, he'll go, "Where's that big, beautiful husband of yours? He's a beauty." So, got to love the fun going on these
I think
days.
he appreciates a fellow big man.
Yeah.
Trump's a tall glass of water.
He's what, like 6'2", maybe?
6'2".
No, wait. The flagrant guys go, no way he's 6'2". And it could be as he's gotten older, he's shrunk.
I wouldn't doubt it. Now, it was funny when Busting with the Boys, he was talking about he used to play football. But
yeah.
That got funny in a hurry, and I was waiting for him to crack on him, but they didn't. They gave him some running room there.
Yeah.
But
No,
when he
he's
left, they
probably,
cracked
that happens with age. He was talking to The Undertaker about it. So you used to be like 6'10", you're 6'8" now. Yeah, it happens. You get,
you do.
You get compressed.
You do. You shrink.
Right. Right.
Hope you don't shrink.
Yeah, me too. That's why I stretch myself out every day.
That's a
Bubba.
good thing there, brother.
Now, did you see that the Lieutenant Dan guy?
Yeah, man.
The guy who survived Hurricane Milton, Joseph Malinowski.
Mm-hmm.
He gained internet fame because of his risky decision to ride out Hurricane Helene and Milton on his 20-foot sailboat. He was arrested Friday on multiple charges, including failing to appear in court. He was arrested on 2 outstanding warrants for failure to appear in court and a misdemeanor charge of trespassing in a city park after
That's
nuts.
He made the cops at Tampa look bad because they told him, get off the boat, come with us. And he said no.
Right.
So, sorry, but right or wrong, they said,
officers warned him on Thursday that he was creating a health hazard because he did not have an accessible marine sanitation device aboard his unregistered vessel and did not have the record of proper disposal of waste.
You know why? Because it went right over the side.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
I'll be honest, 90% of boats.
Oh, really?
Ask the Navy what they do with all their garbage. Ask the cruise ships. Why do they get fined every couple of years? Yeah, they're just going after a simple guy.
He was taken to Hillsborough County Jail and his vessel was impounded. Man, so much for being internet famous.
No, it ticks me off, man. Who was that guy hurt? He ticked off the wrong person, and that's big government coming down, putting a thumb on somebody that honestly doesn't matter to nobody. Matters to no one. But it's big government letting you know, you're not going to mess with me. We're the boss.
Yeah, and it's NBC News. Everything's so serious and stern. He drew concern and scrutiny over his decision to remain at sea during the deadly storm.
Like he told them,
Thanks,
I'm
Mom.
the only
Shut up,
one
Mom.
that's in danger. I didn't ask y'all to come out here. I'm not asking for any saviors. I'm the only one in danger. If I can't put myself in danger, then why am I alive?
Right.
Why am I here?
Now, 538, that's the big kind of stat crunching poll watchers. They forecast their forecast now predicts Trump victory, a 53% probability. Nate Silver, who's no longer with 538, I don't believe, has his own piece out called 24 Reasons That Trump Could Win. If there's a second Trump term, we won't lack for explanations. I'm reading right from Nate Silver's Substack. You can go to natesilver.net if you want to check it out yourself. He says, this election remains extremely close, but Donald Trump has been gaining ground. One of my pet peeves is with the idea that this is Kamala Harris's election to lose. I could articulate some critiques of her campaign, but if you study the factors that have historically determined elections, you'll see that she's battling difficult circumstances. So today's newsletter simply aims to provide a laundry list of factors that favor Trump. Harris, number one. Harris is the favorite to win the popular vote, but the electoral college bias favors Republicans by about 2 percentage points. In an era of intense partisanship in close elections, this is inherently difficult for Democrats to overcome. Number two, inflation hit a peak of 9.1 percentage points in June of 2022. It has abated now. Well, the growth has abated.
Yeah.
It's still going up, though.
It's still going up.
But prices remain much higher than when Joe Biden took office, and voters are historically highly sensitive to inflation. Democrats can also plausibly be blamed for it, given intensive increases in government spending during COVID recovery efforts. Number three, though the reasons for this are much debated, voter perceptions about the economy lag substantially behind so-called objective data. I'm adding in the word objective.
Okay.
Or, excuse me, so-called objective. And growth in take-home income has been sluggish for many years for the working class amid rising corporate profits. Yeah, you think? Number four, incumbent parties worldwide are doing very poorly, and the historical incumbency advantage has diminished to the point where it may now be a incumbency handicap, instead given perpetually negative perceptions about the direction of the country. Number five, populism is awfully a highly effective strategy, and many Trump voters are indeed, quote-unquote, deplorable in the Hillary Clinton sense of the term. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're deplorable.
Yes.
Illegal, unauthorized immigration increased substantially during the first few years of the Biden-Harris administration. This is the sixth reason.
That was Trump's fault. They cleared that up.
Number seven, Harris ran far to the left in 2019, adopting many unpopular positions and doesn't really have a viable strategy for explaining her changing stances.
But she's got a website.
Number eight, the cultural vibes are shifting to the right, and the left continues to pay a price for the excesses of 2020 on COVID, crime, wokeness, and other issues. Number nine, voters have nostalgia for the relatively strong economic performance in the first 3 years of Trump's term and associate the problems of 2020 with Democrats, even though they weren't in charge at the time. Well, was there critique of Trump? He's not doing enough? Like he's not controlling and locking down enough?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Democrats' dominance among black voters and other racial and ethnic minorities is slipping, writes Nate Silver. It may be unfortunate timing. The memory of the civil rights era is fading. Hey, I've said something like that
Yes,
before.
you have.
Educational polarization, which implies deteriorating Democratic performance among working class voters of all races, may also be coming to dominate other factors. It's possible this works out well for Democrats if Harris makes corresponding gains among white voters who pack more leverage in the Electoral College, but there's no guarantee. Number 11, many men, especially young men, feel lost amid declining college enrollment, contributing to a rightward shift and a growing gender gap. It looks like the feminist have won, Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Biden sought to be president until he was 86. Voters had extremely reasonable objections to this, and it neuters what should have been one of Harris's best issues about Trump's age and cognitive fitness. Yeah, they're still trying to do that. Like Weekend at Donnie's sort of stuff.
Right.
I'm like,
Except
really?
look at him. Again,
Right.
he's having fun. If there was ever a chance for him to mess
Right.
up, it'd be now, and he's having a good time.
Right. So here, I want to shift gears to RFK Jr., Bobby
haven't
Kennedy.
Heard much from him lately, Joe.
Yeah, but he's been stumping.
Maybe he's been on the trail.
Yeah, they've been more reaching out to that former Democrat moderate party that's out there.
I got you.
A small portion of the population that's crucial to victory in November. Let's listen to this one clip. This was a sit down with Tulsi Gabbard, I believe.
That. And it's almost like a psyop. It's that people have been hypnotized and twisted to believe that this man is so evil that anything is okay to keep him out of office, and that people who don't go along with that narrative are committing treason against our country. And I'll tell you an interesting statistic, because Democrats also blame Republicans for causing the polarization. But I was on Gutfield's show last night, and
People love them some Greg Gutfeld.
They do. They do.
they published a data point, a recent poll that showed that 49% of women who call themselves Democrats would not date somebody who was Republican. And only 19% of Republican women said that they would not date a Democrat. And what that shows is that hatred, that vitriol, the demonization of the other side is much, much more pronounced, more than twice as pronounced within the Democratic Party compared to the Republican Party. And that to me is really interesting, because Democrats have a completely, we all have a way of judging ourselves not based upon our intentions rather than our actions. But if you actually look at the real world data, the hatred and the vitriol, the poison that is being circulated and normalized within the Democratic Party, to me, is very, very dangerous for our country.
Well, and then you add to that CNN study where they talked to kids, and
that one was
the kids
disturbing,
of blue or Democrat households were 9 times more likely to express negative emotion about this election.
Yeah.
But that number I didn't know that number about dating. That might explain a thing or two.
What about hooking up?
See, that's what I was wondering. I
That's what
wouldn't
number I'm
date a
looking-
Republican man,
Right.
but I'll.
Got good credit? Got a nice car? Got a house? Let's start. I've just seen too many pheromones get in the way. So when people say I wouldn't date a Republican,
When did you become a pheromone expert?
I've experienced it. Have you not?
You've experienced the pheromones? Whose
Yeah.
pheromones?
I don't want to say I get in trouble, but yes. It's just, anyway, when there are active pheromones going and a little bit of liquor pouring,
Sure.
the last thing you're asking that hot girl or dude at the end of the bar is,
Mhm.
are you Republican or are you Democrat?
Yeah, you're not thinking about that.
No, that comes much later. But it's ironic, though, because isn't there another study that more women are Democrat than men, but more families are more Republican than men?
See, but you do see the position I'm in. It's like, so what do you do?
But you got a million ways to go with this. You can leave it with, I'm a guy on the radio.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that's
they're
pretty
gonna say,
dishonest.
Are you not on the radio?
Yeah, but you're leaving out a lot.
You're not saying you spin the hits. You're not saying what you don't do. You're just,
All the
I'm on
hits.
the radio. You could be a commercial guy. They don't know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but why lie about it? Why not just be
You're not lying. You're leaving limited information out there.
But
Then
isn't that what most people think flirting is just lying?
No, and then you get a little bit of information from them, and if you feel your information will help to seal this deal, then you let out more information.
I'd just rather be myself. Like, I am a jackass.
This is why you're single, Joey. This is why you're single.
I am Larry David.
Even he found somebody.
relate to Larry David.
Even Larry David found somebody. Come on, Joey. Come on.
Well, no, I watched that show, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm like, I get that guy.
I see that, and honestly, I'm getting older, and I'm becoming that person. I'm becoming the angry
the
old
clip
man.
I saw was like what Susie is saying to Jeff, like, "You're gonna take me to the airport," and it's like you don't.
You'll see.
You just want to make his day miserable.
Yes,
that's why you're saying.
You want to give him something to do.
Right.
He is a man, so therefore you felt like you need to give him a task. I know this. Oof, I know this. We're gonna get in trouble.
Anyway, that is amazing. I didn't know that stat.
I didn't realize that either. But I wonder, I don't know. Look how many Alabama Auburn fans have married. And that's house divided. I mean, we're in one of those ourselves. That is truly house
It
divided.
is, yeah.
House divided, yeah. Yeah. So
I guess it depends on what you value.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does at the end of the day.
Yeah. I value the love of a good woman, Joe.
Like at some points, isn't it just like inertia?
Yeah, there are moments like that. There's a lot of moments you wish you were just like that, Joey.
I think, well, we've been here for a while.
Why can't we go back to that?
Yeah. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro, Ashley and that fantastic team are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. You know, as things cool down, that's going to disturb the pest in a particular way, trying to find a warm spot.
Yep.
As the days get colder and colder. So you want to make sure your home is jam up and jelly tight, as the song says.
You really do.
And Pest Pro Services, second to none, folks. They've been growing leaps and bounds in the last few years because of how good they are. As very skilled professionals, show up on time, do the job well. But they're also just great local folks.
Mm-hmm.
When you spend money with them, you're spending money with your neighbors.
That's right.
And Ashley's always finding ways to give back to the community. Really love what she does, highlighting athletes. But the point of bringing all this up is not only do they do the job well, you know you're working with good folks. It helped the community at the end of the day.
Yep.
So call up Pest Pro at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search for Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. They have a very active Facebook page.
Really good one.
Giving a lot of tips about pest control and what's this bug, you know, like trivia stuff. But then, like highlighting high school athletes.
They sure do, Joe.
For their performance on game night. So check them out today. When you want to know, call LaPro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. How about this? Let's hit a break.
All right, bro, him.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For many years, my team and I have worked diligently to provide our veterans with top-notch service, as it is our honor to serve those who have served us in the armed forces. Madeline and I are certified veteran lending specialists. Nationwide, there are over 22 million veterans that qualify to purchase a home through the VA loan program. Yet less than 2 million of them currently have a VA home loan. Many lenders do not keep up with the ever-changing guidelines and benefits of the VA loan program. They are intimidated by the program, resulting in many veterans not obtaining VA loans. This is unacceptable. The VA home loan program offers service members and veterans with 100% financing. You've already paid your down payment. If you are currently serving or have honorably discharged, we would love an opportunity to discuss how the VA program can serve you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Thank you for your service. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The new 2025 models are arriving at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. But to make sure you get the one you want, call 334-285-9300. They're selling before they get to the dealership, so be sure you get yours locked in today. Larry Puckett also has the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the River region. There's still a lot of football left. If you don't trust your old clunker to get you to Auburn, Tuscaloosa, Troy, and the away games, a vehicle from Larry Puckett's pre-owned inventory will get you where you want to go. Larry Puckett always lets their customers do the talking, and you will certainly want everyone to know about the great prices, selection, and service once you buy from Larry Puckett Chevrolet. Stop by and see them on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville, or shop them online at LarryPuckett.com. The new 2025 models are arriving at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. Pick yours out today. Shop them online at LarryPuckett.com. Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville.
Too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go to story time with Elon Musk. He tells a story of, well, overregulation when it comes to running SpaceX. Again, I don't expect everybody to be moving at the speed of Musk, but it would be nice if we got back to a culture that really, truly celebrates people like Musk and a government that isn't a hindrance to actually building up the future. So Elon's going to tell a story of, say, overregulation. Let's listen in.
I had a bunch of sort of nutty stories, you know. Some of them are, I guess, kind of funny. There's, you know, we had to do this. SpaceX had to do the study to see if Starship would hit a shark, and I'm like, it's a big ocean, you know. There's a lot of sharks. It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely. And said, well, you have to, you know, this is I think from National Marine Fisheries, one of the, you know, NIMF it's called. You know, they were like, well, you have to do the study on whether you're going to hit a shark. We're like, what? And then we said, okay, well, fine, we'll do the analysis. And then, well, can you give us the shark data? They're like, no, we can't give you the shark data. We're like, okay, well, then we're in a bit of a quandary. How do we solve this this shark probability issue? And they said, well, we could give it to our Western division, but we don't trust them. And I'm like, am I in a comedy sketch here? And then, like they're worried about the shark density data, like the people who hunt sharks for shark fins somehow getting their hands on the shark data. And so eventually, I think we got the data, and we could run the analysis to say, like, yeah, the sharks are going to be fine. But they wouldn't let us proceed with launch until we did this crazy shark data. And then we thought, okay, well, now we're done. And they said, but what about whales? I'm like,
come on, man.
When you look at a picture of the Pacific, what percentage of the surface area of the Pacific do you see as whale? Because look at a picture, I don't see any. It's like, you can't. Where's a whale? And honestly, if the ship did hit a whale, it's like, honestly, that whale had it coming, because it's like the odds are so low. You know, it's like Final Destination, the whale edition. It's like fate had it in for that whale, you know. And so we have to do the whale analysis. And it's like, okay, yeah, the whales will be fine too, you know. It goes on. And then there's like, well, what if the rocket goes underwater, then explodes, and then the whales have hearing damage? Like, this is real. This is actually, and we're like, look, if we could make a rocket go underwater and be a submarine, that would be like a feat of physics we could not accomplish, okay? This is not how it works. So anyway, just one like crazy thing after another where, so this is why I'm like really feeling the pain of the overregulation.
And, Elon and team like to move quick. They like to solve complicated problems by, what's his one principle is you build, you design something, and then you take away stuff. You take away as much as possible. Make it as simple as possible. There's some amazing side-by-side images of their rocket engines compared to rocket engines that they kind of started with. I think it was Russian designs, actually. And how much they have streamlined everything. That's what Elon's all about. It makes it part of his engineering process. It obviously makes it part of his financials and how they run a business. But government's not in that sort of business. They're not in business at all. And what you have often are people that are unaccountable, who are given a job to do that, the way they continue to have that job is they continue to find problems. They continue to have mission creep and find new justifications for their very own existence. And yet somehow they are the ones in the captain's chair, not, visionaries and innovators like Mr. Musk. And you don't have to be a visionary or innovator to worry about regulation. It's not just the cost of regulations every year. It is the uncertainty. You cannot make plans years and years ahead when you have these regulatory regimes, these bureaucrats, just making stuff up every year. There's new rules. Congress didn't even pass. Just making stuff up every year. New reasons to justify their existence. And that uncertainty is what holds things back. It's a big reason why Trump received a standing ovation when he said he would fire Gary Gensler at the Bitcoin conference. Because the Securities and Exchange Commission, headed by Gensler in this administration, has been miserable in the way they have given the runaround and left the crypto community in legal limbo. And you now have Republicans and Democrats saying, I'm pro-crypto, I'm pro-Bitcoin, all these things. It's like, where have you guys been? What are you actually doing in Congress? Elected officials, are you in charge or are you not? Or is it just the guy gets the appointment, the guy whose career within the federal service? No, he's really the one in charge. It's a mess in almost every way. And you would think with the amount of money that we have, very rich country. We've abused, I think, the privilege of being the world's reserve currency. But you would think even abusing that privilege, having all this money to play with, we would have nice things. We'd have much better things. The problem is our infrastructure is falling behind like crazy. We don't have the best airports in the world. We don't have the best ports in the world. We're excited here in Alabama, maybe hopefully widening the interstate or getting another highway as a throughput, as a thoroughfare. Like, we're kind of stuck in a way with generations that actually built things 30, 40 years ago. We're not keeping up. And yet that's with all these riches, all this money that's apparently being made, and we're not keeping up. But why is? You got to wonder. Why is our infrastructure system so bad? Because you say, what are justifications for government? Well, to hold people like murderers and thieves accountable. Like, okay, I agree with that. Sort of the night watchman state. Fair enough. Well, what other reasons do you got? Well, you need regulation. And it's like, well, yeah, but you can overregulate. And those regulatory bodies that are entrenched can be bought and paid for by the very companies they're looking to regulate. Regulatory capture is very real. So what else you got? You've got the basic enforcement of basic standards of law and morality, like stopping murder and theft and fraud. You've got your regulatory regime that often wears out its welcome and defeats the very point of it being around. So what other justifications do you have for government? Oh, we need government to build a platform infrastructure for everybody else to operate on. Well, here's Peter St. Onge breaking down why our infrastructure is so, pardon me, piss poor. Why it's falling apart. Let's listen in. Again, Peter St. Onge, taking on infrastructure.
American infrastructure is falling apart despite trillions in federal spending. Where did it all go? There cannot possibly be that many racist overpasses to waste money on. The catastrophic FEMA failures of recent weeks are, of course, just the beginning. According to a recent article from the Rutherford Institute, a water main breaks every 2 minutes somewhere in the U.S., leading to contaminated drinking supplies and boil water notices. 1 in 3 bridges in the country, so 42,000 bridges, are in need of repair, endangering hundreds of millions of commuters and anybody who lives remotely near a train line. By one estimate, 300 million Americans could face power outages in the coming years as our creaking power grid falls apart. What's galling, of course, is that our federal government pours trillions into infrastructure. In fact, one of Joe Biden's first bills was the so-called bipartisan infrastructure law that was, in theory, going to plow $1.2 trillion to revitalize American infrastructure. Alas, the bill included no independent oversight of where the money went.
Of course.
Meaning it went to unions and crony green boondoggles. A big chunk went to subsidize New York's money-losing subway. A cool $42 billion went to rural internet that 3 years later hasn't connected a single person, partly because they excluded Elon Musk out of spite. And, of course, rebuilding those racist overpasses. I mean, with $1.2 trillion, there should not be a crumbling bridge or crumbling dam in America. But the reality is the more they spend, it seems the worse stuff gets. This is true at the state level as well. So U.S. News ranks the smoothest roads in the country. The top 5 states include Alabama, Indiana, and Idaho, which are all among the lowest spending states.
Here. And we have heated political battles over our roads. Thank you very much. I didn't know Alabama's top 5 smoothest roads. All right.
The worst 5 roads include Hawaii, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, which are all among the highest spending states. Just looking at big states, Florida has the best roads for a big state, while New York has the worst. Yet Florida spends literally half what New York does per capita, yes, even with the hurricanes. Of course, it's not just roads. Look at public services in a high-tax city like San Francisco versus a low-tax city like Jacksonville, Florida. Or look at education spending in a high-spending district like Detroit or a low-spending district like Boise. Spot the problem. The more government takes, the more it spends, the worse it gets. So why might this be? Well, walk it through. So first you hike taxes, so there's extra money beyond the police, firemen, and potholes. So they use the extra money for some woke outreach, LGBT outreach, let's say, and they hire a bunch of political activists to run it. These people, being fanatics, expand their empire, hire their friends, they grow like a cancer. The pothole guys never had a chance. They come to work, fix the potholes, and go home. Fast forward a few years, and the Department of Human Flourishing has not only soaked up all the new money, they took the pothole money as well. By the time you're done, you've got a government that costs 3 times as much, yet it spends 3 times less on the potholes. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Happily, the solution is very simple. Oversight for federal spending, and for the states, just cut the budget. Starve the beast, as Ronald Reagan put it. Because in a growing budget, the activists always win, but in a shrinking budget, it concentrates the minds. You get a glorious cage fight between the activists and the potholes. When the potholes are bigger than the cars, the activists will be the first to go. A new episode of the podcast just dropped. Check it out at petersantos.com or wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Again, that's Peter St. Onge. You can check him out on the X platform or, again, petersantonge.com. Always love his commentary. And in general, I think he's absolutely right. I think it is a starve the beast necessity that we have to a large degree. I think at the federal level, you need to zero out certain departments. Like they shouldn't exist. I think along, though, with, say, becoming more economical with your dollar, that requires executive leadership, not government by committee, not having to go through and spend money on all sorts of things you don't need to get the job done because it's some legacy cost that has been instilled in law for longer than I've been alive. That's not how you get more efficiency. But, good for Alabama being the top 5 for some of the best roads in the country. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Got to hit a quick break here, but first, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, well, they can help you out with that roof of yours. Could be an asphalt or a metal roof. Either needs to be inspected on a regular basis. Manufacturers say every 3 to 5 years for basic preventative maintenance. But Eddie and I have been suggesting, why not do it every year? Because here's the good news. With River Region Contracting, when you call them up at 356-8635, that inspection is always free. So they could come out and be like, you're good. And you don't owe us a thing. But say they do find a problem, they'll write up an estimate for you for free. And the estimates are accurate. They show up on time. They do the job well. And they love to educate their customers. It's not like some black box where, you can't see how we're fixing this problem. They love to describe, here's the exact problem. Here's exactly how we're going to fix it. And of course, they're also insurance specialists there at River Region Contracting. So if that issue is covered by your insurance company, it might be paid for by them, they can walk you through that claims process and make it a swift and easy experience. That's something you usually associate with insurance claims. So check out River Region Contracting today. There's a reason folks are calling them the premier roofing contractor here in the area. That number, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and the team there that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Ben here with Just Blinds in Prattville, your trusted source for all things quality and beauty when it comes to window treatments for your home and business. We want to thank our good friends at Blue Water Broadcasting for helping us get our message across to the thousands of Blue Water listeners. Not a day goes by we don't have someone tell us they heard about Just Blinds on Blue Water stations. Radio advertising is a key part of our advertising mix, and we absolutely encourage any business looking to grow to give Blue Water a call.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Our cool temperatures are recovering. Sunny and warm for October today with a high temperature up to about 82. Total sunshine. What a great start to the week. Clear skies, not as cool tonight. Still jacket weather, though. Low temperature down to about 51. We'll be still in the low 80s on Tuesday, middle 80s on Wednesday with more sun, and still in the 80s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 50s at night. We need the rain, but so far it looks like several more days of dry, storm-free weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones. Talk to Wetumpka Jeff. Hey, Wetumpka Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, just fine. Just fine. Joey and Eddie, how you doing?
Eddie actually had to step out, so it's just me.
Okay.
But I'm doing good.
Well, I had something to say to Eddie, but maybe he'll be back. But if I'm long-winded, you were talking about what we can do about the government, and I was thinking to myself, if we did have an Article 5 Convention of States, what if, say, we got one thing passed? What would the most effective thing be? And I have my own ideas, but you know what I mean? I would think before we had that Convention of States, we ought to have in mind what we want to have done in it.
A balanced budget amendment on the federal level would be huge.
Well, that's the last one I'd pick for the reason that certain evil people would see that as a license to raise taxes.
Right.
But my thing is, what I think would be effective, and I would invite more intelligent and wise people than me. I would say impose something upon the federal government that every regulation, every law, every agency have a sundown date applied to it.
I like that.
Everything would have to be revisited pick a number, 8 years. Every agency would have to justify its existence every 8 years. At least we'd get a chance to vote on it.
That sunset provision built into the law, I think, is a fantastic idea. Article 5 convention just makes me nervous. That's
what I mean. I'd want to have it in place, what we're going to do with this thing first. You know what I mean? We're going to impose a sundown date on everything the federal government does.
Good idea. And, term limits, of course, would come up. But I think especially, you need garbage collection of some sort when it comes to not just certain regulations, but entire departments.
Yeah, but the term limits, hey, we already have term limits. It's called every 2 years or wherever we have an election. Right. We can vote them out if we want. But like I said, I think that would be an effective thing to do if we had one, if we had a chance.
Well, I appreciate the call with Wetumpka Jeff, and I think it's a good idea. Maybe that's where we're going. Something
did
unusual.
Eddie show up?
Hmm?
Did Eddie show up?
No, he's out of here, man.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for letting me say that. You guys are doing great service for the communities out here.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, man. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. I want to turn now. This is a clip. We'll produce video. Victor Davis Hanson talking about the holistic, say, cultural revolution we are now in the midst of. I think he's about right.
This revolution that we are in the midst of is holistic. It's not a political revolution like 1776. It's more like the French Revolution of 1789, or I think really close to Mao's second revolution, the Cultural Revolution. By that I mean it's holistic. It's not about politics. It's not about Trump are in conservatives versus Biden and Democrats. It's not about whether you want to spend this amount of money or that amount of money. It's more than that. It's that, but it's more than that. It spans every aspect of our being. And I mean that literally. Nobody listening to this right now, if I had said 10 years ago, mark my words, I'm a prophet. 10 years from now, there will be 3 sexes. And if you, listener, dare say that there are only 2, you're going to be ostracized and fired from your job. Nobody would believe it. If I said 10 years ago, we're going to ban cooktops that run on natural gas heaters, and we're going to ban V8 engines very quickly because we have to transition by forcing the middle class to take a big hit on green energy. No one would believe it. If I said to you professors, if you professors get up in class and you say that you want the border closed, or you believe that biological men should not compete in female sports, or if you say the case has not been made that government has the ability without catastrophic results in a cost-benefit analysis to address climate change, you're going to lose your job. Say any of those 3, you're out. They wouldn't believe you. If I said 10 years ago, there is no border, it's not that the border is porous like it was under Obama. It's not that federal immigration law is lax. There is no border. It's been destroyed. There is no corpus of federal immigration law. 7 million people have crossed the border. And it's our duty to put them up in hotels through all of our major cities, give them a cell phone, waive any legal consequences for their continued illegal residence in the United States, and more to come. And we're going to be told by the Mexican government that it is our duty to treat their citizens as if they were ours. Nobody would believe that. If I said 10 years ago, 70% of the people who vote will not vote any longer on election day. We're going to go from 30% absentee to 70. And we're not going to use the word absentee. We're going to call it mail-in balloting or early ballot. And the rejection rate of those ballots is going to plummet because we're going to change the voting laws so radically that it's almost impossible to authenticate a mail-in ballot vis-a-vis a registered name on a registrar's list. Nobody would believe that. Nobody would believe that. If I said 10 years ago, there's going to be a riot. It's not going to be like the Watts riots or the Rodney King riots or the riots that followed Martin Luther King. There's going to be 120 days. There's going to be $2 billion in damage. They're going to torch a federal courthouse, a police precinct, a historic church in Lafayette Square. They're going to try to get to the White House, and nobody's going to pay a price for that. It's going to be pretty much fine. If I said, in addition to all this, then 4 consecutive FBI directors are either going to lie under oath to Congress or to a federal investigator, or they're going to deny and claim amnesia things that they knew were true, whether Mueller or Comey or McCabe or Wray. Nobody would believe me. If I said the FBI 10 years ago, if I said the FBI will be caught hiring Twitter to suppress news, so they can warp the 2020 election, nobody would believe me. If I said 10 years ago, hey, just watch this upcoming 2016 election, the 2020 and the 2024 election, the FBI and the DOJ are going to warp. In 2016, they're going to concoct this lie that Donald Trump urinated on prostitutes because he was mad at Obama, who stayed in the same hotel room, and he wanted it known that he did that to the sheets, and that he was working for Vladimir Putin. And that will be a complete lie. And we will doctor FISA affidavits if we have to. We will hire foreign nationals to work on the Clinton campaign if we have to. We will do anything we have to. Nobody would believe it. If I said in 2020, the candidate for president's son, who's committed several felonies, many of which in action, in medias rebus, are on the computer. And to stop that from being known, the FBI is going to take it, hide it for a year, and then tell Twitter not to put any news out other than it's a Russian disinformation ploy.
I'm going to pause it there because, it's just Victor Davis Hanson has a way with setting the whole picture. And it's the point I try to constantly get across, that what we're facing is not just a normal Republican versus Democrat. Trump versus Harris, Trump versus Biden, all the different markers you usually do. I think there is a larger conversation going on that does reach beyond normal politics. And for better or for worse, well, we're going through it. Where institutions, well, either you love them or hate them. Just trust in general is not found and is divided in certain ways. It's a weird time for the entire nation. But I have a belief that if you set Americans free and you tell them the truth, it might not be pretty, but Americans will set things right. Let's go to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
You want me to tell you the truth and set you free?
Go for it.
It starts with the phone call, 285-8117. We can have all kind of talks about flooring or conspiracy theories. Or you can stop by the store and sign up for a free countertop. I mean, there's every reason in the world you should call it today at 285-8117.
Well, I feel edified and liberated already.
Give you a free quote.
Wow.
And if you're lucky enough to get Chad to come out, you can really get some conspiracy theories going. Like his conspiracy theory today when he walked in the door is that why is nobody talking about football on Mondays anymore? I said, I know, because both teams really, really stink.
Yeah, I was about to say
He thinks it's a government thing. I'm like, no, it's bad football.
No, we both just suck. Like, that's kind of...
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But like Ron said, even in Alaska, they're all the Alabama fans up there on the northern slopes were sticking there, like walking around all slumped over. And Ron said, hey, you're like an Auburn fan. You can be excited about next year.
Man, that Iron Bowl is going to be ugly, I have a feeling, this year. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, it's just awful. But, hey, do us a favor. Call us, 285-8117. Let's discuss floors or war politics, whatever you want to talk about. We are here to talk to you. It's a lot cheaper than calling your therapist.
And be sure to tell them when you call 285-8117 that you heard right here on the radio with that Joey guy.
Hey, have a great day.
Thank you, Ray. Again, I think we are in a revolutionary time. I've been saying that for a few years now. And dadgum, it certainly doesn't just feel like it. I think it's apparent to anybody with their eyes wide open. And I mean this in the sense of the technological revolution. I mean in the sense of Americans starting to understand that the way government works, the way they were taught it works, say in civics class, if you still even had that, the way they were taught it works by watching, say, the corporate news outlets on TV or even listening to radio or reading the newspaper, they're starting to realize, hey, it doesn't seem to work the way they've been telling us for years. I think Americans are also starting to realize that, there are things that money can't buy. Starting to show, especially in our psychological health. It is a holistic revolution. And as we fight over who to trust, as we fight over which institutions should remain and be authoritative, it's no surprise that the institutions are starting to fight back against everyday people. Who will win? Who knows? Let's go to line one real quick before we close out the show. Hey, you're on there. Who's this?
I couldn't resist. It's rolling, baby. What Mike Price say? It's rolling, baby. It's rolling, baby. It's rolling, baby. Keep on rolling, Tide. Keep on rolling, Tide.
You can't help yourself. I think it's hilarious.
I can't help it, boy. You know I can't help it, boy.
I know.
Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it, man. It just ain't nothing like it. Nowhere. Like the Dreamland barbecue, ain't nothing like it nowhere.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Duke. It's a heck of a way to end the show. Man, he's got to stir it up in every which way. Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.